Hello, good morning, and thank you for choosing us. This is Breakfast Daily here on Channel 1 Television. I am your humble servant, Nanatufo Boateng. My work here is very, very simple: to serve you the best breakfast you can ever get on television right here on Channel 1 TV. All right, you can see in my hand the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Today, this is where we're preaching from. The message is quite simple. Front page of the Ghanaian Times says, floods hit Accra again. 4 die, 3,000 houses affected, cars swept away. Quite a simple message. Now, if this does not move you into changing your mindset, then I don't know what is. Okay, 4 die, 3,000 houses swept away or affected, and of course, cars swept away. Just a simple gospel we are preaching this morning. Quite simple. Flooding is usually nature's way of responding to human activities. Oftentimes, it is deserved because of the tiles and the concrete you and I are sinking into the crust of the earth. Okay? Because of the building or construction of buildings in waterways. And of course, our attitudes, our poor attitudes towards sanitation. That is why we're experiencing the floods that we keep experiencing every year. And until we change this, every other year we will come back and sit here and lament about the same old things and nothing will change. Mind you, we are not even at the peak of the rainy season yet. There's June, there's July, there's August. So if we can't change our own mindsets, if local assemblies are going to sit down and look upon developments growing up haphazardly in our assemblies or in our localities, if authorities are going to sit down and issue permits anyhow they want without checking what plans these developers have, we're going to come back here and cry over flooding again and again and again. Think about it while I tell you what's happening in the beautiful month of June. Okay, a number of things happening. First, we've been preaching the Agric Fair to you. The Agric Fair 2025 is happening at the Sanitation Children's Park on the 20th to the 22nd of June 2025. Now, this is what's going to happen. Okay, we're going to bring together industry players, farmers with fresh farm produce, and of course, innovators along the agric value chain. And then these people are going to, exhibit fresh farm produce for you and I. Okay, so this is Ghana's largest agricultural fair. It's brought to you by Channel 1 Television with support from 97.3 Citi FM. And it's a groundbreaking event that will bring together the nation's leading agricultural innovators, industry experts, and farming communities. So you're going to have fresh farm produce assembled at one place, which place being the Sanitation Children's Park from the 20th to the 22nd of June 2025. Now, it's important that you call to register early so that you can be a part of this groundbreaking event. The number to call is 0205 978 978. Call us now and register and be part of the Agri Fair 2025. Okay, and then also in the month of June, which happens to be the month that we have dedicated for the City Business Festival, we'd like for you to join us. But even before I tell you about the business festival, let me tell you about the amazing organizations that are supporting us, sponsoring us to bring you the Agri Fair 2025. Okay, you have the Development Bank Ghana, DBG, supporting us, sponsoring us. You have the Ghana Exim Bank sponsoring us. Then you have Legacy Crop Improvement Center also sponsoring us to bring to you the Agri Fair 2025. So like I said, the Agri Fair is brought to you by Channel 1 Television with support from 97.3 Citi FM and is proudly sponsored by the Ghana Exim Bank, by Legacy Crop Improvement Center, LCIC, and the Development Bank Ghana, DBG. All right, now let's talk about the Citi Business Festival. Citi Business Festival, which is happening throughout the month of June. And here's what's going to be happening. A full month of powerful conversations, outdoor events, and on-air business education. Okay, so your safest bet is to stick with Channel 1 TV as well as 97.3 Citi FM as we bring you on-air business education, outdoor events, as well as powerful business conversations that will help shape your minds, shape your businesses going forward. We need to sail through the rest of the year successfully and, of course, close the year with a smile on our faces all the way to the bank. And that's what we're bringing you, the Citi Business Festival, throughout the entire month of June. Okay? We need you to be a part of this, especially our on-air business education, as well as our outdoor events. We need you to be a part of it so that together we can build strong businesses in this country that will be able to compete with multinationals as well as international organizations. So the Citi Business Festival is throughout the entire month of June. We want to say thank you to Absa Bank and MTN Business for sponsoring the Citi Business Festival. We're grateful to you, Absa Bank and MTN Business, main sponsors for the Citi Business Festival, which is happening throughout the month of June, where we bring you powerful conversations as well as on-air series on business growth, as well as outdoor events. Okay, so the Citi Business Festival is happening throughout the entire month of June. Let's get into the papers this morning. I already gave you a hint of the Ghanaian Times, and so I'll start off from there. Front page says, floods hit Accra again. 4 die, 3,000 houses affected, cars swept away. And you can see that picture of a muddy Odona Sahara community after the rains, okay? Citi now standout performer among global currencies. This is the Finance Minister, Dr. Kasoa MCE speaking. He says the Citi is now the standout performer among global currencies. 200 education support personnel exit every month without replacement. This is Tewu speaking. 200 education support personnel exit every month without replacement. Hey. We need to do something about this. The brain drain is getting too much. All right, let me take you to the back page. Back page says, a joint fight against illicit drugs. NACOC boss urges chiefs. Joint fight against illicit drugs. NACOC boss urges chiefs. And you have 200 youth at Medina acquire entrepreneurial and vocational skills. That's it for the Ghanaian Times newspaper. I'll bring you the front page of the Daily Graphic. Front page of the Daily Graphic says, enact policies for processed food to combat NCDs. Experts demand of government. Enact policies for processed food to combat NCDs, non-communicable diseases. These are experts making this demand of government. Recruit more education support personnel, Tewu tells government. Okay, so this is relative to the story on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. This is the angles, the various angles from that. While Times is lamenting the exit of 200 education support personnel every month, Graphic is telling government to recruit more education support personnel. And this is a cry by Tewu. That's the Tertiary Education Workers Union. Tertiary Education Workers Union making that cry. All right, in other stories, lead in fight against corruption. ICAG charges members. Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana, ICAG, is charging its members to lead in the fight against corruption. Collection of property tax to be decentralized. Collection of property tax to be decentralized. And this is attributed to the Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Ahmed Ibrahim. Now let me jump to the back page real quick. SNET pursues digital agenda for informal sector. SNET pursues digital agenda for informal sector. And then you have Anglican Women's Fellowship donates to Accra Psychiatric Hospital. That's the Daily Graphic newspaper this morning. Let's check out the Daily Guide. What's the Daily Guide saying? Atoforsin hails gold board for Citi stabilization. Atoforsin hails gold board for Citi stabilization. Stop talking, put the lights on. Minority to Jinapo. Stop talking, put the lights on. Minority to Jinapo. Baumia apologizes over 2024 defeat. Baumia apologizes over 2024 defeat. Tokonu, 49 judges refunded undue rent allowance. That's the suspended Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu and 49 judges refunded undue rent allowance. And then you have 3 die in Adenta flood. 3 die in Adenta flood. Let's move on to the Chronicle. What's the Chronicle saying? Bahamas Gold Board, the real McCoy. Atoforsin says it has stopped chaos in gold purchases. Robust and sustainable outlook for the Ghana cedi expected. Bahamas Gold Board, the real McCoy. Atoforsin says it has stopped chaos in gold purchases. Robust and sustainable outlook for the Ghana cedi expected. Tokonu, 49 other judges received rent allowance in error and refunded the payment. Tokonu, 49 judges received rent allowance in error and refunded the payment. Pristia Bogoso MCE MP cautioned Blue Water Guards against extortion. Dumso is slowing down the economy. This is the minority speaking. Dumso is slowing down the economy. And then we'll go to our scripture for the day from the book of Habakkuk, the chapter number 2, the verse number 3. For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Habakkuk 2, the verse number 3. May the Lord add his blessings to the reading of his word. Some sports stories, of course, on the back page of the Chronicle. Man City played their final home game against Bournemouth. Man United suit up for the Europa League final. Crystal Palace returned to Premier League action against Wolves. Farioli leaves Ajax after title miss agony. That's Francesco Farioli, the coach of Ajax Amsterdam. We're being told that he's leaving the team. Let's check out some other papers. The New Republic is here. Says Baumia in tears in London. Baumia in tears in London. Front page of the New Republic newspaper. Nam1 loses big in court. Appeal to stop trial flops as victims yearn for justice. Accra underwater. Casualties mount amid building regulation failures. Accra underwater. Casualties mount amid building regulation failures. Interesting. Let's bring you the Business and Financial Times, BNFT. Business and Financial Times says central bank tightens liquidity, absorbs 79.8 billion Ghana cedis in 4 months. Central bank tightens liquidity, absorbs 79.8 billion Ghana cedis in 4 months. 26 people face risk in absence of clean cooking solutions. 26 million people face risk in absence of clean cooking solutions. Shallow markets, limited alternatives hindering pension fund growth. Shallow markets and limited alternatives hindering pension fund growth. And you have match pay with productivity. Austin Gami urges employers. Match pay with productivity. Austin Gami urges employers. The business analyst is also here, and it says Atoforsen declares end to gold smuggling at Gold Board inauguration. Atoforsen declares end to gold smuggling at Gold Board inauguration. Then you have Atoforsen credits Citi stability to Gold Board. Atoforsen credits Citi stability to Gold Board. GJA opens nominations for 2025 executive elections. GJA, that's the Ghana Journalists Association, opens nominations for 2025 executive elections. Ghana's non-traditional exports hit $3.83 billion in 2024. Ghana's non-traditional exports hit $3.83 billion in 2024. Court of Appeal dismisses Namwan's bid to halt criminal trial. Court of Appeal dismisses Namwan's bid to halt criminal trial. On the front page of the Daybreak newspaper, Daybreak says, rent allowance, Tokonu, others refunded error payments. Rent allowance, Tokonu, others refunded error payments. Gold Board takes office, tax to sustain CD gains. Gold Board takes office, tax to sustain CD gains. NPP will return to power in 2028. That's Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia speaking. NPP will return to power in 2028. Dr. Bawumia. Otunfo recognizes Bost MD. Okay, that story was all over the front pages yesterday. And then gold for reserves policy, historical contributions of successful governments. That's the front page of the Daybreak newspaper. Finally, I'll take you to the Inquisitor. The Inquisitor newspaper says, appreciating good work. Ato hails Gold Board for crucial role in CD stability. Appreciating good work. Ato hails Gold Board for crucial role in CD stability. Architects of lies at Ghana Airports Company Limited strike again with falsehood on Deputy Managing Director's Office accommodation. Architects of lies at GACL strike again with falsehood on DMD's office accommodation. NPA, National Petroleum Authority, poised to improve service conditions of tanker drivers. That's the acting CEO, Godwin Eduji Tamaklo, speaking there. NPA poised to improve service conditions of tanker drivers. And then you have Court of Appeal shows Namwan red card. Court of Appeal shows Namwan red card. Let's go online real quick. I'll take you to channel1news.com and bring you some stories from there. Mahama elevating his Pan-Africanist image. That's the security analyst, Professor Kwesi speaking there. He was on the Point of View show here on Channel 1 Television with Bernard Avle. And these are some of the stories coming out of that particular interview. And it says, Mahama elevating his Pan-Africanist image, Professor Enin. Then you have this one also from that interview that says, Economic Fighters League commends Mahama's efforts to reintegrate Sahel states into ECOWAS. Economic Fighters League commends Mahama's efforts to reintegrate Sahel states into ECOWAS. Outlook for CD's performance remains robust and sustainable. That's the Finance Minister, Dr. Kasoa Atoforsen, speaking there. And he says, the outlook for CD's performance remains robust and sustainable. Let's take you to other stories that says transport fares to go down by 15% from May 24. And so hopefully from this Saturday, you're going to have transport fares go down by 15% according to the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, the GPRTU. Okay. I skipped a story. Let me just take you back to it real quick. AMA's major decongestion exercise in Accra CBD kicks off today. AMA's major decongestion exercise in Accra CBD kicks off today. We know that the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, together with the Korle Klottey Municipal Assembly, will be embarking this decongestion exercise especially within the Central Business District. That exercise commences today. Our cameras will be there. We'll bring you live pictures from that exercise here on Channel 1 Television. Okay. Another story taking you back to the point of view with Bernard Avle says Ibrahim Traore captures optimism of post-independence. That's Professor Enin speaking again. Professor Kwesi Enin speaking there. He says Ibrahim Traore captures optimism of post-independence. Now, on the issue of flooding, building on waterways, a recipe for disaster. Building on waterways, a recipe for disaster. That's the Hydrological Authority speaking there. Dr. Edu Anani Entry named chair of reconstituted SEC board. Dr. Edu Anani Entry named chair of reconstituted SEC board. Now, we can all recall or remember Dr. Edu Anani Entry. He is a former Director General of the SEC, that's the Securities and Exchange Commission, and now he has been appointed chairman of the newly reconstituted board. Okay. Guta condemns GTEX and justified caution to Joseph Obeng over honorary doctor title. Guta condemns GTEX unjustified caution to Joseph Obeng over honorary doctor title. This story says, in relation to floods, says keep off buffer zones. Ghana Hydrological Authority warns. Keep off buffer zones. Ghana Hydrological Authority warns. And then you have private citizen petitions Mahama to dissolve committee probing Tokonu. Private citizen petitions Mahama to dissolve committee probing Tokonu. All right. Interesting stories on there. Channel1news.com. Get online and you can get the details. But let me take you to citinewsroom.com real quick. Citinewsroom.com real quick says transport fares to drop by 15% effective May 24. Transport fares to drop by 15% effective May 24. And then we can't reduce prices now. Aboso Kind spare parts dealers speaking there. We can't reduce prices now. Aboso Kind spare parts dealers. AMA begins major decongestion exercise in Accra CBD today. Then you have tariff war with US not in Ghana's interest. That's Amin Adam, a former finance minister under the Eswal Akufo-Addo administration. Food security has improved under Burkina Faso's Ibrahim Traore. That's Professor Kwesi Enin speaking. Again, he is saying that Traore is targeted by the West for prioritizing his people. Mahama petition to dissolve committee probing Chief Justice. Then you have poor maintenance culture fueling floods, and that's attributed to the Ghana Hydrological Authority. So go to citinewsroom.com, go to channel1news.com, a host of stories on there. You can get the details of the headlines that we have brought you, but go online, channel1news.com, as well as citinewsroom.com, and of course, read the stories on there. This is Breakfast Daily here on Channel 1 Television. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
In a world filled with challenges, we all need guidance, hope, and a lifeline to anchor us.
This is Lifeline, and I'm your host, Fred Crunchy Mensah.
For social issues, relationship challenges, and family matters, Lifeline is here to inspire, uplift, and guide you on your journey.
Where we give you support, where we hold your hand through the valley and through the thick and thins of life.
Join Bishop fed crunchy mensa.
I welcome you especially to Lifeline.
Every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. right here on Channel 1 TV. Let's walk this path together, strengthen our faith, our families, and our lives. Lifeline, because every soul deserves a guiding light. Tune in to Lifeline on Channel 1 TV and let's grow together. Calling all farmers, agribusinesses, and innovators, this is your chance to shine. Channel 1 TV invites you to exhibit at Agric Fair 2025, one of Ghana's largest agricultural exhibitions. From Friday 20th to Sunday the 22nd of June, the A4 Sutherland Children's Park in Accra will come alive with the very best from Ghana's agribusiness sector. Are you a farmer with fresh produce of any kind? Be it crops, livestock or poultry, fisheries or aquaculture, or you're a supplier of agro inputs and processing machinery? This is your platform to connect with the world. Agric Fair 2025 is more than an exhibition. Showcase your fresh produce, share your expertise and experience, and grow your business. So, to all farmers with fresh produce, livestock or poultry, fisheries or aquaculture products, come, sell, network, and expand your business. Agric Fair 2025, where culture meets innovation. Register now to secure your spot. Call us on 0205 973 973. Come one, come all. Enjoy the freshest farm produce at unbeatable prices. And treat yourself to sizzling kebabs made from beef, mutton, pork, chicken, and more. Great taste, great value. Don't miss out. The Agric Fair 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM and is proudly sponsored by Exim Bank, Legacy Crop Improvement Center, and Development Bank Ghana.
Where politics meets power, where the tough questions are asked, welcome to Face to Face. Every Tuesday at 9 p.m., join Umaru Sanda Amadou as he takes you face to face with the key players shaping the future of our nation.
I lost over $10 million at the trade fair.
You had a fight with the management of trade fair?
I don't have a fight with them. I just deplore the way they went about what they did.
Let's talk about the chief prosecutor of the state at the time that you were being prosecuted, Godfrey Yeboah-Dame, the Attorney General.
Yes. I think he was directed to jail us.
By who?
By the system.
Boko has been a failure for your government, though.
Can't be a failure.
You have not solved it.
No, you are not praising them, the previous government for solving Yendi, which was even a more difficult case.
It's quite obvious that from these votes, the people felt that let's just let you go.
So they were disappointed
in us.
You are essentially the worst government in the Fourth Republic.
I don't know how you are doing that. If you based on the indicators.
Yes, based on the number of people who refuse to come and vote for you.
If that is your analysis, then why not?
No filter, no boundaries, just the truth behind the headlines. Deep, bold, and unflinching. Face to Face with Umaru Sanda Amadou airs on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV, where politics gets real.
Hello again, grateful that you stayed on with us. This is Breakfast Daily here on Channel 1 Television. It's time for the news review segment where we get to have a conversation about some topical issues making the rounds within the news space. I have two fine gentlemen in the studio with me. I'll do a quick introduction and then we'll get straight to the business of the day. Wanda Madilo is a member of the NDC's communications team. He's here with us. Good morning, Wanda.
Yes, good morning.
I trust you're well.
Very, very good. Very
good to have you. Good to have you. Then the Honorable Isaac Boamanyako, Member of Parliament for the Afia constituency in the Western region, is also here. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, nice meeting you again.
Very well, very well.
Hope you are doing good.
Yes, I am. I trust you're well too.
I'm good.
Great.
How did the rains go for you?
Well, I survived. I didn't experience as much flooding in my neighborhood as unfortunately happened in other areas, but we're praying that measures are put in place to help address some of these things going forward.
Of course, yes.
My fear is that we are not even at the peak of the rainy
That is
season
so.
yet.
This is the introductory part.
Exactly.
You know, so the signal, we should take it very serious.
If we begin to have 6-7 hours of rainfall,
yeah, you can imagine the
Then
devastating effect. Yeah.
But normally, from data, the very first one is always because the gutters are choked, you know, and so the first one, if the dredging continues, it clears it, and is not, the impact is not as the very first one. So this is likely the heaviest one to see.
We pray so.
Yeah.
We pray so.
Yeah.
We pray so. Because for me, I think the biggest problem is the mindset of the people.
True.
People are not, don't reset.
True.
People are not rewired to doing the right things.
Yeah, very true.
We'll go and come back and come.
Sanitation is a lifestyle problem.
Yeah, and the buildings on waterways as well.
We have to.
The encroachment of Ramsar sites, quite disturbing. But anyways, let's get into our business of the day. I'm coming to you, Honorable, first because Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, the MPP's presidential candidate for the 2024 elections, is apologizing again. Right, and this time he says we got many things wrong. Please forgive us. He was speaking in London. I'll take a few paragraphs from the citynewsroom.com, and the story says former Vice President and 2024 flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party (NPP), Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has acknowledged the shortcomings of the NPP-led administration, offering an apology to Ghanaians while appealing for renewed trust ahead of the upcoming general elections. Now, speaking at an engagement in London, Dr. Bawumia admitted that although the NPP had made significant strides in governance, it had also made notable mistakes. In a candid and reflective tone, he said, quote, "The NPP did a lot of work, there's no doubt about that, but we did not get everything right. We got quite a few things wrong, and I think that on my own behalf and on behalf of the party and the government, I apologize to all of you for us not getting the things right that we should have gotten." End quote. So Dr. Bawumia was speaking in London, and this apology he's rendered to Ghanaians and, of course, NPP sympathizers there in London. Remember that the show is interactive, okay? Send us your thoughts, your comments, and contributions via our socials and the WhatsApp number. Honorable, this is from your camp, and so let me start off with you.
Thank you.
How many times will that good old dog apologize?
Well, let me say a very good morning to our cherished viewers and also the good people of Western Region and the Ifia constituency whom I represent. It's a call by the flag bearer of the 2024 NPP. This is after we've come out from a very devastating elections result. And it's always important that when you come out of an election like we did, you do an introspection and try to figure out exactly why we got what we got. Going into the 2024 election, if you look at the time we started building up with our slogan, Breaking the Eight, and we were very confident that we were going to win the 2024 elections. Not just for breaking the eight's sake, but because of the work that we believed we have done over the past 8 years. You know, when you have a government that came into office in 2017 with the biggest flagship program of free senior high school, I was amazed how the government was able to implement that policy in the very first year of its inception. Because if you look at the talk around what it cost to run that program and all the challenges that the education sector had faced and the financial implications of all of these, it was very, very big call by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to implement the free SHS the very year that he took office. And with all its challenges, gradually having implemented it to the extent that at some point data suggested about 2 million, 3 million. People were even having conversation around how many people have actually benefited from the free SHS over the 8-year period. Even President John Dramani Mahama, during the State of the Nation's address, indicated that about 2.3 or so, instead of 3 million that NPP had indicated, were beneficiaries of the free SHS. My question is, if you can imagine up to 2.3 million Ghanaians who otherwise may not have had the benefit of going into free senior high school, what would have been their fate? When you look at the infrastructure that were developed in the education sector, I'm coming from Takoradi. In those days when we were growing up, the prominent schools that we had in the Western region were GSTS, St. John's Secondary School, Fijai Secondary, Bishop Waters, and St. Mary's. If people told you schools like Adiembra Secondary, Takoradi Secondary, and then Ahantaman Secondary, these were institutions people would have categorized them as third level senior high schools. But with the introduction of the free SHS and the need to rebuild infrastructure and also improve on quality of education, I was amazed when I visited an institution like Ahantaman Secondary, which has become now one of the household secondary schools in the Western region, where people proudly apply, and you even find it difficult having access to such a school. And you take a school like Udogono, the infrastructure that was built, and the STEM schools that were built.
But there were challenges with the infrastructure also.
Definitely, because
the free senior high school
had the volume.
More numbers.
Exactly. So the issue is that it was a bold step. You needed to implement it anyway. We had to even do double track to accommodate. And as at now, we still have some few schools that are still double tracking. And government is committed, according to the Honorable Minister Idrisu, to phase it out completely in 2026. And so my point is, if you look at the investment, and these are transformational decisions by a government, you know, these are things that break barriers. They are decisions that had been beneficiary to only a section of the Ghanaian populace in the north, and then you wanted to extend it to cover the entire country. And so from my point, when you take the area of education, the big point, which was our major campaign promise of free senior high school, and its work and the improvement and the performance even over time cannot be underestimated. It is for that reason that even the current government said it cannot and will never cancel free SHS, but would only come in with other mechanisms to improve on its deliverables. And I think that is a step in the right direction. If you go through other areas, we've had these conversations before. I'm not here to just talk about MPP and say MPP did everything. But if you take health, even towards the tail end of Nana Addo Dankwa's regime, where he boldly initiated this Agenda 111, with the intention that every district in Ghana should have one major health facility that meets international or national standard, whereby anybody within that district, if you face such challenges in health, you can go there and be served. Though we were unable to complete the entire Agenda 111, by the time we were leaving office, information was, oh, we've completed only 3 and 2 and 1. And my point was, even if we completed 0, but then you have built it at various stages of completion, whether 20%, 50%, 80%, 90%. It is, governance is a continuum. The question is, was it relevant to build such an infrastructure for the benefit of Ghanaian healthcare? Again, I'm coming from Western region. Our biggest hospital is Ifia Nkwanta. If you come to my constituency, Ifia, which is within the metropolis, the only reliable or bigger hospital we have is Kwesimintim Hospital, which used to be a polyclinic. And when you visit that hospital and you look at the conditions of such a hospital, that is one of the busiest in the Western region. In fact, along the N1 on Takoradi Aguna Nkwanta area, any disaster, any road accident that happens, that is the first point of call. Perfect or fantastic medical service providers, but the infrastructure is not there. So if I had the land and they had built a modern facility like the Agenda 111, and it is supposed to work. Can you imagine? I went and visited the place, mothers, maternity, people who were giving birth, and you look at the condition in which people give birth in Ghana, in Takrade. I wonder what is happening to people living in the villages. Okay.
Has the one in your area been completed?
No, we didn't have one. We didn't have one.
Because you have the
regional Kwanta, which is under construction. You know, the Akufo-Addo government also awarded contract for a major facelift to raise the Efiam Kwanta to the standard of Kolebuti.
Is that why you gave him the statue?
That was what he informed partly. You know, so.
But then there's a Takrade hospital itself.
Oh, that was we call a European hospital. Exactly. That is also.
Struggling. It has infrastructure challenges.
No, it is.
The medical doctor quite recently.
Yeah.
And the emergency units is still not completed.
Oh, but I think, again, of course, there might be challenges with it, but it's still one of the major health service deliveries in the Western region. So my perspective here, narrating 1, 2, or 3 areas that I think the NPP had done so well, and that's why Baumia, if he says that the government did some good work, if you take road, there's been debate as to how many kilometers of road that were done. Some say they were not started and completed. Some were rehabilitated. And so my question, whether it was started and completed 3,000, 10,000 kilometers or 3,000 or what have you, the most important point is that MPP did one of the major road infrastructure developments in this country. These are there for people to see. Most of them, if you come to Western region again, if you take Accra, all the flyovers that you could count, if you come to Takrade, a lot of them were initiated, couldn't be completed. If you take the Sekendi to Takrade road, dualization.
MPP lost woefully in the Western region.
Exactly.
Due to the touch and go.
Exactly.
So you didn't finish the road project.
But you see,
so
what
I'm
I say.
You are mentioning road.
No, but you see, I am a person who believes in future development and growth. You see, this business of doing politics in 4-year cycle and trying to build a nation in 4 years is not realistic. The thing is that, what is the vision of this country? Where do we want to go? If I want to build a road network that will sustain the time, and I know that I need to do only 1 lane to 4 years to please the people, and I do that only to realize that in 8 to 10 years time it will cost you double or triple to expand it into a 2 or 3 lane. What will be my business decision as a government? Will I do that to win political advantage over 4 years, or I want to build a system that can sustain us over the years? So I believe, though we should have completed them, I'm not making excuses for the government. I was a loser in that game where all those roads were not. And if you come to Takrade, all the investment that is coming out of it, all the raw materials, the resources that are coming out of the Western region, and the government cannot pay particular attention and give them the development, like the roads we are talking about. How many kilometers of road were we talking about? 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, even the longest stretch, which is Power Grant Runabout or what have you to Agunam Kwanta. You are talking about less than 20 kilometers of road. So why would the government of the day, which is my government, in 8 years, not complete these projects? And so if the people punish us, they have a right to punish us. Exactly. But the key thing is that the projects were initiated, they had various stages of completion, and so now to the apology.
And then we wrap up on that so I can
now,
hear from
after all the good things that we have done, there were also some minuses. Minuses around being a listening government. If you're a government of the people. So you have a team you are working with, and Ghanaians begin to call for the heads of some people and the decisions they make. The decision around the reshuffling of government. Government didn't do it and do it on time. You have policies around DDEP, where people's interest in terms of investments were being affected, the haircuts. People talked against it. We went ahead and did it. You have e-levy, introduction of e-levy. Government thought it could be a major revenue solution. But the government, Ghanaian people were saying that no, it has consequences for business, and so take it off. We went ahead and implemented it. And so we initiated other programs, though well intended, but they were against the wishes of the people. Right. And so in government, you need to balance. To what extent do I listen to my people? And to what extent do I live? And so we went in, and then the Ghanaian people said, yes, we weigh your good side and your bad side. But you know, what affected our pockets were more. And so get out of the way and let people come in. Now, with that benefit, the flag bearer then is going around engaging stakeholders. First on the thank you tour to thank
Has that ended?
Yes, I think it has ended. And to thank people, even if you have 2% of Ghanaians voting for you, you need to thank them.
Yeah.
You need to show appreciation. And so if you have about 41% of people voting for you in an ended election, you need to go around and thank them. Because it took time and energy for someone to go and queue and vote for you. So I think that was the right thing. Now, after you've gone to thank them, you need to also let them know that you appreciate their concerns and the fact that you erred. So where we have erred, he says, we are sorry. Why not? We should apologize. That is the hallmark of a great leader.
Right.
A great leader is the one who sees that I had a responsibility. Though as vice president, he didn't carry the overall mandate of the people. The president of the day had the power to make decisions. Vice president had input into governance. Whether his inputs were taken or not is neither here nor there. The most important thing is that government was not sensitive to some of the concerns of the Ghanaian people. Ghanaians have punished us. We are sorry. Justin Kudia have said we are sorry. I have gone around to tell Ghanaians and my good people that, yeah, thank you for voting for me, but where my government did not do well, I am sorry. So it is good to show that kind of maturity and then assure them that given the next opportunity, we are guided by your wishes and we are going to work hand in hand with the Ghanaian people and see how best we can move the country forward.
One of the initial solutions to every challenge is admission.
First and foremost, let me use this your August platform to thank the very good people of Ketu South, especially our Syria callers. They have been on some, strike partially for some time, but 2 weeks ago they called it off, and I'm very proud of them for taking that bold decision. We came into government together. We would manage this country together, and we need them at every step of the way. Coming to the issue, Honorable has done the job for me, so I have very little to say. I really would have gone some way, but he tried to manage it, so I'll be very simple with it. But typically, I think that the MPP themselves are not doing themselves any good, but they are public, posturing now. Okay. There was a thank you tour. They called it off because of some debate.
Was it called off?
No, not debate. They said they were calling it off so they can go for the demonstration. They were joining the demonstration.
No, it was done simultaneously.
Yeah.
No.
The demonstration
on the day of the demonstration was what we called off, but post it we completed.
So you continue?
It. Yeah, he completed it.
Ken was not part.
No, Ken had withdrawn.
Okay, so a bit of some of those things are a concern for Ghanaians. You see, even though Bawumia tried to say he was sorry and all that, what is he sorry for? You see, this is where the issue is. A blanket statement like, we are sorry, is no statement. What are the specific things that Bawumia feels, especially when their own report is out? What are the specific things that he feels that these were wrong? I should think that he's a man of data and will be speaking from data by now. What are the specific things? To all intents and purposes, we knew that e-levy was a good thing for them. So they had no problems with it. If Bawumia now feels...
He as an individual was against e-levy.
Well, he never said it while in government. Never. He never said that while in government. No.
He actually even went on Peace FM.
No, on Peace FM. By the time he was going on Peace FM, they had asked him, he was actually campaigning, and they had asked him what his view on e-levy will be. And he says, when he wins, he will withdraw it. he feels that people should not be taxed and all that. But Bawumia is not an individual, excuse me. You know what I mean? Even at the time of flag bearer, he was representing the party. What does the party feel? What does the party think? What is the party's policy? And he was in cabinet together, and he was actually the head of the economic management team. So it's difficult to extricate him from the lapses of the government.
But you admit that in governance also is a majority concession.
When you say majority concession means what?
It means that, I mean, even at cabinet level, is the majority decision that's...
So you can't come out and say that you were against it. You knew before you went inside. I mean, the same majority voted for you to even become a flag bearer in the first place.
Yes.
So you cannot now say that the majority decision is bad. If it is bad, pull it through. Because when Bawumia was made flag bearer, what we were told was that he was the economic messiah. President Akufo-Addo publicly said that he brought on Bawumia so that so that what he would help him fix the economy. Has it been fixed? No. We got eggs on our heads, in our faces, at the end of the day. So e-levy came to pass. Bawumia can't take, will he take credit for it? Because in one breath we are told that e-levy brought so much, and it was used to do something else. COVID levy. It came in, it was used to do something else. And in one breath, you give credit to yourself for some achievements you have chalked. Then in another breath, you want to run away from the basis for which you chalked some of those achievements. Because the health infrastructure, for instance, the Agenda 111 was built around COVID levy. Period. If you remember.
Is the COVID levy that was used for the Agenda 111?
No, that was the explanation for the COVID levy. When COVID came, and government wanted to go, we're doing all the things we're doing in COVID. They needed some funds to support. And when he went to commission that hospital that was built, the special disease hospital that was built, it was at that place that he made the declaration. Initially, they were going to do 88 for only the district assembly. Then at that program, he said 101 because 111 because they were going to upgrade some other regional hospitals. And fantastic idea.
But he said he was going to use the COVID-19 levy.
That was the financing base for the project. I don't know if you get myself. The whole bit about COVID levy was to support health infrastructure. And the health infrastructure at the time was the agenda. I don't know about you are in Parliament if I'm wrong.
I'm taking notes.
So these were the basis for some of those things. In one breath, they are taking credit for starting the project. In another breath, we were told that they didn't support the COVID levy and all that. I think that's where the difficulty is. Then Bawumia must be clear in his mind exactly what are the errors. For instance, we have errors in the way our funds were managed. You have a whole government that won't produce textbooks for students, but will be interested in buying past questions, printing past questions at the cost of 38 million Ghana cedis every term for students. And yet you won't provide textbooks. You have a government that went into cathedral. How much was spent? $58 million was spent, yet will not provide infrastructure for schools. You have a government that went into the free spending on its own to the extent of borrowing from the central bank. Over 60 billion was borrowed from the central bank. You have a government that left a debt of 740 billion Ghana cedis from 120. So these are the challenges. You give haircuts, he mentioned it himself, and all the things that have happened. So we are expecting him to speak to the specific issues. What are those issues that you disagree with? What are those mistakes that you felt was wrong? Now that the report is in, because I wouldn't have been saying this if he didn't have the report. With the report in his hands, I believe that he should speak to specifics. That will endear people to his integrity. That will also endear people to his honesty, with which you are saying. It's not because you need power tomorrow, so you now want to tell us that you're sorry. Sorry for what? Lives were lost. When COVID came, lives were lost. There was the haircut. Lives were lost. People lost their livelihoods and all that. Pensioners lost their... We even have former chief justices who were queuing, to demonstrate against your government. What are the specific things? I think that is what will help his image rather than the blanket apology. And why did he choose UK in the first place? Even though he was meeting MPP, majority of the people in the UK did not even vote. The people who voted, the 41% of people who voted are right here with us. You left us You went on a campaign tour. You never mentioned this. Sorry, on a thank you tour. This was never mentioned. You spoke to issues in this country. That was never mentioned. In fact, he even wrote a letter to the president at a certain point in time, recommending some things to be done. You never mentioned that. You lived in this country for all the 4 months.
He apologized.
No.
Even the general secretary of the party also apologized.
No.
And then he spoke to some of the issues that may have caused the party's defeat.
No, you see, the apologies, this is the first time. He admitted, he admitted that they did some things wrong, but not an apology. For the apology, this is why is he making the headlines if he has said it already? It wouldn't have been news. The apology, this is the first time we're rendering the apology. But he's admitted in his other presentation that, they got some things wrong. Given the chance, they will correct it. But as for the apology, the naked apology for Ghanaians or to Ghanaians was made in the UK. And why the UK? Why not speak to your people right here in Ghana? The biggest apology Bawumia has rendered to Ghanaians is here right here in Ghana. The people of Ghana needs to know. It is not even MPP people who are interested in that apology. Majority of the people who even voted against them are the people he should be apologizing to. So indeed, we need a certain level of candor, a certain level of integrity, a certain level of honesty, a certain level of approach in dealing with this matter, so that going forward, we know exactly what you are bargaining for. And this business about we'll win 2028 is what vitiates all the goodwill he's talking about. Because is it all about winning power? That's why you will apologize. Because right in the same place where he's apologizing, he's talking about winning power. Come on, please. We deserve better. Ghanaians are not rubber stamped that such that you only come to them when you need your vote, you apologize, get the mandate, and then you do worse off. President Akufo-Addo also apologized. You remember when they lost the 2008 elections? He went on the thank you tour and apologized to Ghanaians that they got some things wrong. He even extricated himself, just like Bawumia is doing right now, saying that he didn't buy some of the state lands. All the monies that came, he used his private car. He didn't live in the government bungalow and all that. He's trying to distance himself from the Kufuor administration. It looks like this is no Kufuor then. Akufo-Addo was a member of Kufuor's government. And then when push came to shove, he distanced himself. He said he wasn't part of the things that happened under Kufuor. And then Ghanaians believed him. Somehow, some way, he won the elections in 2016. It looks like the same template.
So Bawumia is repeating the same.
It looks like the same template. He's been part of it. He is even worse off because he has been the vice president, head of economic management team, head of the police administration or security. And then he comes out today to say, I distance myself. We are sorry for what has happened. Ghanaians forgive us and all. Same thing Akufo-Addo did. Same template is being repeated. But this time around, I can assure you, both the NDC and Ghanaians are very much awake. We are watching, we are observing closely. We will scrutinize every policy through and through. We will make sure that it is honest enough, it's truthful, and it represents the interest of Ghanaians. Otherwise, forget it. Kiss power goodbye. Because power must come at a cost to many people. Otherwise, we will always be in the circles. He talked about the fact that this business about 4 years mandate, he's not impressed with it. Same with me. I believe that government must be in a continuum. Today, we are hearing that some students abroad on scholarship are going to picket and all that. And their allowances have been waiting for 14 months. And I'm asking myself, why? What happened? Why did they go on the scholarship in the first place? And the total number in the U.S. alone is about 9,300 students in the U.S. alone. GIMPA is only a total population of about 5,000. So that's more than a whole institution.
They could have studied here.
Excuse me. What courses are they doing? We talked about STEM education. STEM education means science, mathematics, and then technology. What are the investments in those areas? And some of the schools in this country are doing it. KNUST, for instance, has been built to run programs of that nature. Why are we doing all this to ourselves? If we're taking doctors, pharmacists, and all that, the health infrastructure
we'll get to that
in that area, I would have been excited. But to have 9,000 students in the U.S. alone studying under government scholarship, that's excuse me, crazy. That's a lot of money going down the drain. Why are those monies not channeled through programs right here in Ghana? Why are we not developing the curriculum? Why are we not giving them the necessary infrastructure in the various universities to run some of these programs?
We'll get to that matter.
So I believe that government is in the continuum. I side with him. I'm not going to
let me come back to you on
who say anything on this.
Dr. Bawumia.
He's admitted with me that
yes, but I need us to look at
don't stoke fires. You allow
a point that you made mention of regarding him distancing himself from some of the issues and throwing a blanket apology at us.
Yes.
If you are able to distance yourself from something like 11, the fewer increments that happened just during the campaign period and all that, then what exactly are you apologizing for? What are you sorry for?
Yeah, thank you very much, Nana. At times, it's interesting where I find myself, particularly in opposition, and some of the statements I make, whether I'm making it because I find myself in opposition or that is my consistent belief. I believe these are my consistent beliefs in how I want governance to go. And I'm not a type that would always refer people back to history. This is where we're coming from. President Mahama has been president before he lost the elections. When he lost the elections, he apologized to Ghanaians for some of the things that he did. And that is on that basis that he promised Ghanaians that when he's given a second chance, he will correct his wrong.
Yeah.
So why are we here? Why are we behaving as if it is wrong for someone to say, I'm sorry, when I had an opportunity to serve and I made mistakes? Because the president of the day today, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, was one of the most bastardized presidents we ever had.
True.
People made that statement. Mahama can never be president again. Why is he president today? Because Ghanaians found some place in their hearts to say, we'll give you a second chance. So I don't want to go into that tangent. What are the specifics? The specifics have already been placed. You cannot say everything. Baumia in his thank you tour, he started from my constituency, Efia. That's the first thank you tour. He held it in my constituency. That was the first place he started enumerating some of the things that the reports, the Okwe report had indicated. And so, that was the first
so
place.
What's apologizing for? The arrogance of power? The perceived corruption?
You understand. These are matters we don't want to bring it back to Ghanaians. Ghanaians punished the MPP for some of these things. And it is incumbent on the NDC to learn those lessons. Because even 4 months, 5 months down the line, we are beginning to see the same trajectory of governance system where opulence is showing face. We may try to ignore and say that is not so, but that is what we saw in the case of my good brother.
Signs of opulence?
Oh, even their own people. If you watch social media, I don't know all NDC people. He said that people of Ketu North, serial callers, Secretary serial callers had gone on demonstration. Why did they go on why did they go on demonstration?
They have a right at all times to demonstrate.
But why? Why? Because they have because a government has come to power. They supported the government. They have expectations. Some of the expectations are not being met. And so, do they care? Do they care? But that is why my good brother is saying that he's happy they've come back on board because communication is ongoing. Things are being explained to them. And somebody would have apologized to them that, please take heart, though it's early days yet. You know, so apology is a day-to-day affair. Right. My point is that Dr. Bawumia, as flag bearer of the NPP, was part of the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government as vice president. He takes the assets and the liabilities of the government. He has to not distance himself to, even where he says, I disagreed. He's never said that I don't take responsibility for the decisions of government. He has never said that. And that is why he bear the brunt of Ghanaians. Ghanaians have given their mandate or they have taken their decision. We as a political party have a right to go back to Ghanaians and tell them who we are. Tell them that we are people of sincerity.
Would it have made any difference going into the election if this admission of complicity had happened prior to the election?
Oh, elections have its own dynamics. Okay, so you may have your own challenges. You want to not water it down, but keep them as low as possible, because once you highlight them, then you are actually giving arms to your opponent to give you the kill. All right? So you may have known some of these things. Why? We were on the ground. Yeah. In my constituency, Dr. John Mahama won the presidential and I won the parliamentary. Because people, when I went to the ground, the people were not happy with the MPP. Not because MPP was a bad government, but on the ground, people were saying that they have not felt the benefit of power. We voted for you continuously. We've not felt the benefit of power in our pocket. We see you give things away to delegates and all, but we have not felt the same power. So if you can give this to 1,000 people, give them money, give them microwaves, give them televisions, then if you want me to come and vote for you, give me same. Give me same. And so the Ghanaian today is clear in their mind that what is good for the goose is good for the gander. And that is why we are coming up with so many amendments to our constitution over time to let it reflect some of the reasons why we lost power. And that is the sign of a serious party. That is a sign of a party that says that we've listened through, we've gone down, we've taken feedback from the people, and these are some of the structural changes we need. Whether it is sufficient, I may not know. We are here to see some of the recommendations that will come. But I believe the apology first is in the right direction. He's not been the first. He cited Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, but he forgot that Bahama has done the same.
We won't dispute the fact that it's all right to have an introspection and say, I'm sorry. But you see, if you want it to be applicable or the people to relate to it, then you state exactly what you are apologizing for. But the blanket statement, anybody can say, I'm sorry, and walk out. Anyway. So that's what it's not as though anybody's
That's one thing he also said that I found quite significant. And he cited precedents in history that no first-time flag bearer has won a general election in the country. And so it is possible.
It's not entirely true.
For him to win in 2028, because by then you also presenting a new flag bearer.
It's not entirely true. It's not entirely true because if you, from 92, everybody was a new candidate. Yes, you can say 92 elections. It doesn't fit
the
into...
dynamics are different.
Yeah, but it's not entirely true. And number two, whatever hasn't happened before takes a second to happen.
There's always a first time, right?
They were busy talking about breaking the 8. What were they trying to do? So it's not as though it's written in or cast in stone that nobody can win elections. If you do what is right, like God told Cain in the Garden of Eden when he killed his brother, he was wroth with his brother, and God told him, if you do what is right, will you not be accepted? So it is very simple. If you do what is right, you will be accepted. And I think that we will not be left in the area of conjecture alone when it comes to this 2028 elections. He has to work extra hard because just a 2,000 gap would have flipped him. So he has a 2,000 vote gap to really work around. So work hard, if not.
Oh, I believe just a small point on what you said, whether that statement. It's currently a statement of fact, but the question is it going to be so forever? I don't think so. I think Ghana will come to a point where a first presidential candidate can win an election based on the message you send across to the people and the willingness of the people to have some shift for that particular leadership. And so, but the reality again is that when Ghanaians hear you first and they are not happy, and you come back and explain to them more, like we've had in the issues of President Akufo-Addo, John Dramani Mahama. Okay, Mahama attempted it 3 times. He lost to Akufo-Addo 1, he lost to Akufo-Addo 2, and he was consistent in his fight for the 3rd time. So if he gives that record, it's only a matter of fact that this is how Ghana has been. But is it going to be so forever? I don't believe so. And so let's take issues as they are, build a stronger party, make sure that we sell ourselves well. Ghanaians want to buy a good product. Ghanaians want to buy something that they can hold on to and deliver to them. That is where we should make the MPP lucrative. NDC in 20 years ago was not as lucrative as today. Now the story
you told the people that we were not
the story of Jerry Rawlings is no more the story that people are listening today.
Yeah.
And so there's something good that the NDC might have done over the period that is putting them in this position. But we have a history whereby we believed certain classes of people in Ghana were more sympathetic to us. So why have we gotten this low? These are the things we need to examine internally and try to rebuild and assure all of those classes of people that we are still the same party that believes in the same ideologies, that respects the Ghanaian populace, that will not use certain words that Ghanaians will not be happy with. So we need to do a whole lot of rebranding. And I'm sure whether it is 2028 is far, but it is not far.
Right.
It's all about how everybody positions themselves.
Yeah.
Once the Constitution gives us a mandate to contest for the elections, we will come and contest. Contest with our strength and sell the right message. And I'm sure the good people of Ghana, if Ifia it's 2,000 today. I know the good people of Ifia will show wonders.
But you have to show working.
I started showing working. I'm not going to take them for granted.
Let's move into our second issue, which of course you have already raised some concerns with. The issue of Ghanaian students abroad planning to picket at embassies over unpaid stipends. I'm reading again from citinewsroom.com. Story says, Coalition of Ghanaian Scholars Abroad, beneficiaries of the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat, studying in various countries, have announced a planned demonstration on Wednesday, June 4, 2025, to protest the government's failure to pay long overdue stipends and allowances. The students will include beneficiaries of the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat's foreign scholarships, say they have gone 14 months without receiving their monthly stipends, while book and health allowances have not been paid for 2 academic years. In a joint statement issued by representatives across Europe, North America, and Asia, the students accused the government of abandoning its obligation to support their studies despite repeated appeals and diplomatic engagements. The coalition insisted that the demonstration is a peaceful assembly aimed at drawing attention to their prolonged hardship and demanding accountability from the Ghanaian authorities responsible for the disbursement of funds. Wonder, I'll start with you. You think that the numbers out there are too much?
Okay, so I'll take it from history. You know, I've been a former student leader. I've been NUC's president. I've dealt with this business of scholarships. I have maintained that we should stop giving scholarship at national level. Because a lot of the times it serves no purpose but political interest or association. Now, why?
Do you want it decentralized?
I think so. I think that's where we should get to. For instance, if your district wants to give scholarship to 3 people to go to school, they see them through school. So when they are bonded and they come back, we know where they are. They know where to find them. I give you scholarship in Accra and you live in, say, Bumpurugu. But I've never been there. I don't know you. I bonded you all right. But you know, our system is not such that once you are bonded here in Accra, then I can be able to track you. We still don't have that advancement in technology yet to get some of these things done. But if you were giving scholarship from your district, 3 people from your district, 4 people from your district, if every district were to give 3, and we have 261, right? 3. That's so much. That's almost like 1,000 already for a year. I need to reduce the burden on the national purse. And then also the focus will be in the STEM areas as we have come to realize as a country now. So if your country is giving 3 people to study medicine, another 2 to do maybe something in IT or whatever of the sort. No, I'll go there. I'll go there. No, because it's here. No, of course.
I'll be happy with you.
No, I love my Ketu South. Any day. Ketu South is my house.
Right.
I grew up there as a young boy, and I'm very proud of that place. So you want to give Ketu South people scholarship? Let's say 5 slots.
Right.
3 people are going to do medicine. Another 2 going to do maybe IT. Another 1 going to do something else. So 5 times the 261 we have across the country. It will be easy for us to manage.
Right.
But where you have 9,000 students, in the US alone, I'm not talking about other countries. And US is not the biggest hub when it comes to education. It's actually UK. We have people in Australia. We have people in Cuba. We have people in Ukraine. We have people in other countries, in India and all that. Even in China, doing, you know, and sometimes you find out the programs they are doing. Somebody is doing BSc marketing or MBA, human resource or whatever of the sort. These are courses that are readily available in all our institutions in Ghana. Even the private ones, Methodist University, Central University, all of them are running these programs. GIMPA, UPSA, University of Ghana, KNUST, UCCA, UMAT, everybody seems to be running some of these programs. What's the essence of giving somebody scholarship to go and read a program of this nature? What value does it add immediately to the state, you know, human capital? So I believe that sensitive programs such as medicine, such as aeronautics engineering, which are not readily in our country, those we can actually go getting people to go and do them. And government can find the right source of funding for some of them. And we can even decentralize some of them. For instance, if we are talking about aeronautics engineering, Ghana Civil Aviation and Ghana Airport Company should collaborate. They do a lot. They have a lot of internally generated funds that they can use for some of these things. You have GMPC Foundation, also additional scholarships all over the place. National Scholarship Secretariat also doing scholarship. Get Fund is doing scholarship. And you have all kinds of scholarship all over the system. I think that, like the president said, he wants to coordinate the whole scholarship scheme. We're sending a new bill to Parliament and then to review what is there at the moment and get it, you know, sanitized. Otherwise, government is losing so much in the realms of scholarship, which a lot does not even benefit us, because majority of the guys who go to do, for instance, if you go to do medicine in the US, coming back to Ghana is not enticing for many of them, because in the US, a medical doctor, professional medical, they make about $600,000, you know, a year as his or her, you know, annual income. You come to Ghana and they are earning less than that, so they don't feel motivated.
So
to come
the states
back.
does not actually benefit from these.
No, majority of the times, of course, some do come back, you know, and then you go to US to do medicine. You come back, you have to do tropicals because the diseases in the US are not the same as they don't have malaria, for instance. How do you then treat a malaria patient in Ghana? You still have to come and do your whatever in Ghana to be able to align. So I think that our problem as a country is that we need to begin to sanitize some of these things, because these are the areas where the leakages is coming from. Imagine 1,000 students and you are paying on average $10,000 per semester for 1,000 students. That's, how much is that? How much is that? And you're going to pay this for 4 years.
For 4 years.
If it's they are reading medicine, you are paying it for 7 years. If they are reading pharmacy for 5 years. If they are reading normal degree for 4 years. If they are reading, say, a master's program, 2 years or 1 year. And then we don't even know when they trail and they have to retake a paper, whether government will still have to continue paying. You know? So indeed, we need to come together to the table, both political parties, to resolve this crisis, because it's a crisis on our hand. And if we do not sanitize some of these things, this is where the revenue leak, you know, coming. We say that, well, people are importing, there's pressure on the dollar, and therefore that is why it's in shortage in the system, and that's why the exchange is spiking. These are some of the things, because you cannot pay a university in the US in Ghana cedis. You would have to convert hard-earned currency
to dollars
in order to pay for some of those fees. So I think that without hurting anybody, scholarship is good. Without hurting anybody, scholarship should be done in the sphere of our developmental goals and our projects going forward, and then we should be able to sanitize. And of course, I call on government to see to their challenges. 14 months without salary, without their stipends, without their allowances. I think it's scary. I remember somewhere in May 29th, they had a press conference, you know, around the elections to press home their demand. That didn't happen. We can forgive the MPP for that. I believe that the NDC government will be able to do something about this as quickly as possible. But going forward, I believe that as a J, my brother will do some reforms in that regard.
Honorable, the 14 months, that means you guys were in areas of about 9 or 10 months in there. 10. We should make it 10 for them. So why didn't you pay them?
You know, we are all students or former students. And we've all traveled before, and we know what happens to students when you are studying abroad. If you go on your own, if you travel on your own to go to school, you make your own preparations, you know how much it costs, either tuition, you know who is paying for your accommodation, you know how much it's costing you for feeding. And so if you don't even have all of that resource, you put in place mechanisms as to how to balance work and schooling to be able to make your stay reasonably comfortable whilst you're there. And then you have incidents where you live in your country, you apply for school outside the jurisdiction, and then you are given scholarship, you apply for scholarship, and you are given scholarship with the intention that the scholarship secretariat will pay you all your entitlements, right from books to the tuition, then to your accommodation, then to your feeding. And all of these are written and clearly stated as if the money will be coming like tomorrow. And then you find yourself in somebody's land, and then there you go. For months, you are not being paid. If you check the history of scholarship secretariat, this is a perennial problem. And why has it taken us decades and not found a solution to a simple problem? You cut your coat according to your size. But because we have politicized the issue of scholarship granting, who are the beneficiaries? Politically exposed people, people using their relationship, whether as MPs or ministers of state or what have you, to seek for support for people. The courses that people go out there to read, some of them humanities, that are run in and across our jurisdiction. And we bear this whole cost on the state. And people go out there and we don't have money to take care of them. So my first problem is, why have we not found solution over a perennial problem? It means government is not either thinking or we are not taking the right bold decisions. Where does Scholarship Secretariat get its funding from? Consolidated fund. So you live under the whims and caprice of the Minister for Finance. How are budgets prepared for the Scholarship Secretariat? Who gives approval at the beginning of the year? Because if government knows that for this academic year or for this year, I have so much students there, this is the total cost that I'm going to make provision for. And you make provision for it, why is it difficult for us to pay? Is it that we continue to add on onto the bill? Is it that government, knowing their responsibilities, are not concerned about the plight of the students? And so we just allow them to wallow in their needs and expose them to all of this ridicule? What is the image of Ghana in those countries? How do people feel and think about us? That your country sent you on scholarship, others like China and India and Co, they are paying their people way ahead of time. And then for 10 months, you send somebody to school and you are not paying. So where is the funding? We introduced Get Fund. We introduced NHIA. Why is it that if we think foreign scholarship is good, why is it that we can't earmark funds? Why can't we put 0.02% of something from somewhere, allocate and push it to the Scholarship Secretariat so that they have the ready funds? And then how do we monitor to make sure that those who benefit are not for political expediency? When the Deputy Minister for Justice and Attorney General, Dr. Sremsai, appeared before the Appointments Committee, and it was put to him whether he has benefited from government scholarship, and he narrated the instances from GIMPA as a lecturer, and then how GIMPA facilitated all of those things. And then you look at Manasseh Azure's expose on Scholarship Secretariat and the beneficiaries, professors, doctors, MPs, blah, blah, blah. People who can take that, afford. So those who can afford are milking the system, and those who cannot afford cannot even access it. If you look at the amount of money that goes into foreign scholarship, and you look at those that have to be sponsored locally, does it make sense? I'm living in Takoradi. My constituency hosts Takoradi Technical University. It costs 4,000 to 6,000 cedis per year to train a child at the Takoradi Technical University. They can't afford to pay their fees for 4,000. As Member of Parliament, I'm supposed to support them. I'm supporting people with 1,000, supporting people with 2,000 cedis. Currently, I have almost 200 students within the tertiary level that I'm supporting.
Wow.
Do you know how much it costs?
Wow.
If I'm giving averagely 1,000 over 200, it means 200,000. How much am I earning?
Honorable, you must be very...
And then the people are coming to you, they have not paid. People are losing their semester exams because they have not paid half of their fees. And they come to you as Member of Parliament and you are telling them that you don't have money. And so you are pushing all of these millions of cedis out there when there are real needs. Locally. How do we channel even the request for sponsorship? Who vets it? How transparent is the system?
Right.
So
hold that thought
if he talks about decentralizing, decentralizing is a good recommendation. But who are those in charge of those affairs?
Hold that thought for me. We'll come back and look at how we streamline the scholarship scheme in this country. And then, of course, the proposals by His Excellency to take a new bill to Parliament to rework this whole scholarship thing. But I need to take a break here. This is the news review segment here on Breakfast Daily. Stay with us. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll continue with the conversations.
Poverty makes you do what you otherwise would not do. Wealth makes you live the way you wish to live. But revenge cancels the lines between poverty and riches.
It's either you're saying something progressive, or I'll just tell your wife that I'm carrying your child.
Where is my father?
Now that he's coming closer to the community,
Papa, go figure your own plans. So I go figure my own.
Do you want a healthy smile?
Hi, I'm Tanya from Bethel Dental Clinic, Ghana. If you have never had mouth pain or a dental issue in your life, then you are one of the lucky few. Dental emergencies can happen unexpectedly and require prompt attention and expert care. Whether it's a toothache, a broken tooth from an accident, a bone stuck between your teeth, a broken denture or crown just before an important event, or any other urgent dental issue, you need a reliable dental clinic you can rush to if you or a family member has a dental emergency. The clinic you select should be equipped to manage a wide range of dental emergencies effectively when you need it most.
Smile.
Hi, friend. Where are we going today?
Just use your imagination.
Go, go, go!
My family is the only thing that matters to me right now.
This is the stuff that you need to develop.
These guys are the best.
GoTV's ready to take you from your hometown to roaring stadiums and even on international adventures. So let's go together, from home or on the go with GoTV Stream.
Sounds like a great idea.
Woohoo! GoTV. Love it.
Is it the luxurious rooms? Or the serene green surroundings? Is it the tempting swimming pool? Or the classy conference room? Or the cute gift shop? Maybe it's our chef's array of cooking delights. Whichever way, it's all about Cactus Creek. A most respected hotel. 055 039 5007.
makes you do what you otherwise would not do. Wealth makes you live the way you wish to live. But revenge cancels the lines between poverty and riches.
It's either you're saying something progressive, or I'll just tell your wife that I'm carrying your child.
Where is my father?
Now that he's coming closer to the community,
My puppy go figure your own plans. So I go figure my own.
Thank you so much for staying with us. This is the News Review segment here on Breakfast Daily, which is live on Channel 1 TV. We're discussing the issue of Ghanaian students abroad and the non-payment or the delay in the payment of their stipends and allowances for over 14 months, for which reason they have threatened to picket at various embassies across the world. We'll continue that, but I'll briefly take a few messages that have come in. Remember that the show is interactive, and so send us your thoughts, your comments, and contributions via socials. We're live on YouTube. You can send your comments via Facebook, on X, as well as the WhatsApp number on your screens. Sule from Sunyani KTK says, Dr. Baumia is a genius and a visionary leader. Ghana needs him. Still, it is highly possible, inshallah. This one says, good morning. If only the NPP knows how angry Ghanaians are, they will disappear from the media for 6 months. This is Mr. Reliable from Bimbila. This one says, Nana Boateng, please ask the NDC representative and all NDC members that they should tell us what was in the Kwesi Botwe's report. We also tell them what's in the Mike Okwe report. He says, I'm sad my people do not refer them when it comes to... This is Edwin from KNUST in Kumasi. Please send us your thoughts, your comments, and contributions. We're now dealing with the issue of... Ghanaian students abroad and the delays in the payment of the allowances and stipends. Honorable, you were on the floor before that break.
Yes, Nana. So my position is, I was saying that when you come to my constituency in Ifia, where I have the Accra Technical University, and you have so many students who are in need, not of full scholarship. And you see, we are mixing the issue of even providing full scholarship for people who need partial scholarship. Someone's scholarship is just a matter of air ticket, because a school would have provided, if the person has sought for it, he would have been provided with tuition and then other benefits, but the person just needs a air ticket. But because we've made people to understand that when we talk about government scholarship, it is from head to toe. So fully funded. We will give you air tickets, we will give you tuition, we will give you accommodation, we will give you food and everything. So why won't people go scrambling for it? And yet we have no funding. We rely on central government. And central government doesn't release the monies on time. And so people are there struggling for months and they are not being paid. Please, my recommendation, as I indicated, first, we should pass a legislation that synchronizes our scholarship needs of the country. What are some of the courses that we want people to be trained in outside? You only provide scholarship for people outside when you don't have that same thing in your domestic market. Why would someone go and do administration, human resource, medicine, and all of those things in UK and US? When those same courses are being run in Gempa, when that scholarship can train over 20 people in Ghana, and then you are using it to train one individual, and that individual you can't even see the next day, whether he's coming back to bring the knowledge to the country or he's sitting somewhere living his life, and you cannot hold them even accountable for the bonds that they do. And then I sit in Takoradi, I see hundreds of students suffering to pay peanuts, 4,000 cedis, 5,000 cedis. Please, let's come up with a new legislation, one that defines the scope of the scholarship, that tells us the needs of the scholarship. What do we need as a country that we want to train? Thirdly, who are the people who are to benefit We take away politically exposed people, people who are connected with political apparatchiks, people are connected to political parties, so that we are really targeting those who need the scholarship. And then finally, we don't need a scholarship secretariat as of today to run scholarship in this country. No, you don't need a scholarship secretariat.
So how do
so the scholarship, once it is defined by legislation, and you are determining how many people you want, you can either run it at the local assembly level, you run it at the regional level. You take it away from political apparatchiks, set up offices within these areas, devoid of interpersonal relationships, put in your applications online, support them with support. We have seen people in America who have gotten 100% scholarship funding and nobody saw them. All you do is online application. They will tell you bring your work, your tax clearance of your parents. If your parents are not working, or if they are working with low income, you will establish their payroll, their pay slip. You put all of these together with your grades, and they give you percentages according to your qualification, as in the scores you made, the background of your parents and the ability to pay, and they composite all of this and determine that you can get 60%, you can get 80%, you can get 100%. And so anybody at all can apply. Anybody who is in need can apply. So you don't need a scholarship secretariat where people are flooding, people are taking bribes. Go to the scholarship secretariat from time past. People are taking bribes. They go on deals. I give you scholarship. When you get your payment, you give me cake back. And we are closing our eyes on this, and we are behaving like ostriches. So we should take the bull by the horn. I don't want to see John Mahama send a legislation to this parliament, and I'll be in parliament to scrutinize it, which will empower the same scholarship secretariat, a political appointed figure who is going to decide who gets scholarship. Political MPs and ministers of state are going to send their girlfriends and boyfriends to them, so that those people will be getting scholarships to go and take money and spend at the behest of the state, when the taxpayer cannot determine the real needs of Ghanaians who have to benefit from the scholarship. So it is high time, and that legislation should come ASAP. Government should release funding. 10 months or 14 months down the line, we didn't do well, but I'm saying that even 14 months, we've come far. Some time ago, 2 years, people had never been paid. So we should be able to pay back these 14 months arrears, halt the process of granting scholarship in the next year. It's not by force. Ghana is not bound to provide scholarship to people every academic year. Let's halt it 2025-2026 academic year. Come up with proper structured legislation, decentralize the process through the regional areas, allow transparent processes for people to put in the application without being seen, whether you are from this political party or what have you. Support your document. If someone comes to me for scholarship, what do I do? Even as a member of parliament, you first have to identify that you live in my constituency. You have to establish your parents. I need to speak to your parents to know what work they do. I do all of those due diligence and groundwork to determine that you are really in need before I now provide the little support that I need to provide. What does the government do? People sit in their homes, and the next time they realize they have been given scholarships to go to UK and to US. So please, President Mahama, let the legislation come. Pay back. Let the legislation come with an intention to scrap scholarship secretariat with a more reset mentality to move Ghana forward.
Very well. Wonder, per the current arrangements, do you think we can maybe relook at the visas of these students on these scholarships abroad to allow them to be able to work while there?
I was coming to that. I think that we should, if we want to train people, as it were, taking them abroad, we should have a holistic approach to their training. You know, I don't fancy people who have just finished school, no training, no, you have never been a protege of any process of anybody. You have not been groomed. You have not gone through the structures. You don't have any corporate experience. For instance, somebody says, oh, I have MBA in human resource management, and you ask the person, have you worked before? No. So after first degree, you sat in the house, got money, go and do a second degree in human resource, and you want to manage whose company? You know, whose company? So I think that they must go hand in hand. The practicality of what they go to study should come in handy. Corporate experience is gold. It's not very common in many places. But by the time you go through some corporate training and experience, the exposure is different. It adds to your knowledge base. It gives you confidence. You know what you know. You can turn around organizations if you are given the chance. So when they go abroad, I am pleading with government at this time when they go abroad, allow them to be able to work. Let them take some residency permits for them or whatever of this one. Let them work to support themselves. Because you cannot be babysitting a 29-year-old man, 30-year-old man, 40-year-old man. There are people who are getting scholarship at the age of 40, 50, you know. And then we have to spoon feed you throughout the process when you are abroad. Yeah, some way, somehow it may be good. And then also empower the universities. They have what they call faculty development. What do they use their funding for? They still come to government to take scholarship from government, and then you call it faculty development. That cannot be faculty development. The universities are making so much money, and we should allow them to use their internally generated funds to support people in that category. And that's what Jomama wants to do. We want to streamline the government scholarship scheme from Get Fund to GMPC to Cocoa Board to GNPC Foundation to the Scholarship Secretariat itself, and then to the ones that are issued at ministerial levels and all that. You want to synchronize them. You can't give scholarship again wherever you are. It must come to a central pool, and it must be weighed. People should be interviewed. I'm sure BNI, now NIB, should be involved in some of this scrutiny and review of applications and all that. It should be a whole process. Then number two, people shouldn't just get up today and say, I'm going to school in September. You got admission today and you're going to school in September. No. You don't have the funding. Why are you saying that you're going to school in September? Government is going to provide you funding, so you need time. Government must process these applications over a year period and then plan for the person, make the full payment, and then they go and come back, properly bonded. So it doesn't become a burden on the state. And then when they go abroad, because of their visas, they are able to work to support themselves. Anytime their stipends delay, we won't have them picketing at our embassies. In any case, picketing at our embassy only gives a bad image to our country. Exactly. It destroys our goodwill as a country abroad. Yeah. And it's actually a pain in the ass that at the time when we are beginning to see some respite in our economy, we're going to have students picketing abroad that government can pay their stipends. And I think it's worrying. Government will eventually settle some of these issues as quickly as possible. My brother called for a total overhaul of the scholarship secretary. I think that is what we promised in our manifesto. That's what the president has stated. And then we're going to Parliament to review this whole process. It's called a National Scholarship Secretariat. In the past, scholarship was the tagline you hear when they talk about scholarship is brilliant but needy. Yeah. Today you don't even hear that
because there's no proper targeting anymore.
Exactly. So we need the proper targeting and know which areas of focus. For a country that is talking about STEM education, we need that focus. We need to be able to give scholarship in those areas. Especially, you remember some time ago, Ghanaian doctors went on strike and we had to bring in Cuban doctors to come and work because we don't have enough. Yeah. You're training only about 61 doctors from Kolebu every year and another 14 or 15 from, it's not enough. If we can throw out numbers, 200, 300 a year, we can have our health setup properly set up and so-called, administering the kind of health infrastructure, health, services you want them to give to Ghanaians.
Very well. So I think we can move on now and deal with the issue of SAL. Yesterday, the Court of Appeal granted an injunction against John Peter Amewu and the Speaker in the SAL case. The court case aside, how we know the importance of representation in Parliament. Honorable, you are in the House. Were you worried during the 8th Parliament when there was no representation for the people?
Of course. Everybody should be worried that a section of Ghanaians are not represented in Parliament. Today we have the good people of Ablekuma North not represented in Parliament. Yeah. And we are behaving as if everything is normal. And that has been the way we behave. If it goes against you, you are quiet. If it goes against you, you talk. If it goes for you, then you are quiet. So there's no way I will support a situation where people are not represented in Parliament, like happened in the case of SAL. And the SAL matter traveled over a long period of time. And we have had all these instances where cases, when you have people in Parliament and you bring cases against them, the process is able to drag over the entire course of time, that the case becomes moot at the end of the day. So without going into the merits of the case, what we know is that the matter appeared before the whole High Court. The High Court dismissed the application against Peter Amewu, and then an application was filed at the Court of Appeal. Now, what we are discussing today is an application that sought to stop the Speaker of Parliament and Peter Amewu from benefiting from his service in the 8th Parliament. And the court has granted the injunction pending the completion of the case. That is what I find a bit ridiculous, because the issue first and foremost is that that 8th Parliament is passed. Peter Amewu represented the good people of Hohoe over the past 4 years. He was in Parliament. He performed his duties as a member of Parliament. He had his salary as a member of Parliament. He had his benefit as a member of Parliament. And that Parliament is dissolved. So even if you want to go into the merits of whether his representation was legitimate or not, it has nothing to do with his benefits, because he has already finished his term. He has finished his term. He has served according to the Constitution.
But if it is established that his election to be MP and, of course, his service thereafter was illegitimate, can the entitlements be withheld?
You cannot hold him responsible, because he is in Parliament because a court of competent jurisdiction made it so. The EC declared him per regulation as the member of Parliament.
But the jurisdiction of this same court has been challenged.
No, but what I'm saying is that until the matter is determined otherwise, any action that has subsisted up to that time on that individual cannot be taken away from him, because he exercised it rightly. When we had members of Parliament thrown out by Sakunde and the rest, did we go to take their salaries for the time they served in Parliament? Because at the time he was in Parliament, he was benefiting because he was a legitimately elected person. And what I'm saying is that Peter Amewu served as a member of Parliament for Hawaii. But the case that was running, he was still the member of Parliament. He has been paid all his salaries and all. And certain deductions that even accrue to you, what we call S gratia or ASB, in Parliament, we don't even get salary adjustment over the 4-year period. So all of those things are held. When government increases salary for public services, public servants by 10% or 15% or 20%, Parliament holds that up. And so at the end of the 4 years, they compute all of those increases and add it to your benefit. So if you are now injuncting him, or the court is upholding that injunction, for what cause? For what cause? What are you going to do? That you don't pay him his entitlement? Because what? EC declared him an MP? And then he went to Parliament and served even as a minister. So I find that very ridiculous. In fact, I'm surprised by the judgment of the Court of Appeal. And I would be looking forward to, maybe, if he's interested, his counsels are interested, bring this application before the Supreme Court for further determination. Because I don't think the decision of the Court of Appeal is tenable. Particularly, this was an injunction application. The substance of the matter has not been determined. So why are you injuncting his benefits? Then the benefits accrues to him.
For his service
services as an MP, which he has discharged completely. If you are injuncting at the time,
or illegitimate?
We are not even whether legitimate or illegitimate, because at the time he completed that service, he completed it as a legitimate legislator. Because if you are not careful, exactly. So are you saying that if they say it was illegitimate, his appointment as minister for railways and the rest are all illegitimate appointments, the decisions that he took as a minister will all be negated? What kind of incongruous and absurdity path are we running? Right. We are running the path of absurdity.
There's a precedence.
Okay. Which
in 1997.
1997. Okay.
Also, West elections was won by one. The Electoral Commission declared for Rebecca Addo, NDC parliamentary candidate. After that was prior to after Ken Jirasa. No, Ken Jirasa was the MP in 92, and then we did 92, 96, right? So in 96 he went to North Tong, no, South Tong, and this lady called Rebecca contested in the 1996 elections, won the elections, declared so-called by the Electoral Commission. Georgia Move felt peeved, went to court, and the court nullified the election of Rebecca. Long after she was serving in Parliament. In fact, the court went further to deny her ex gratia.
Did she complete the term of service?
It's not relevant whether the duration.
Because this is the difference here is the completion of the term.
It's not even about the completion. You see, in legal matters, we are not looking at how long it has been. It is the effect of the law.
No,
the law says that
in this case, the term has expired.
If you will give me
the 8th Parliament is expired.
If you will give me time to explain what I'm saying.
Very well.
So you have been elected, declared by the Electoral Commission. You are serving in Parliament as a member of Parliament.
Yes.
So sworn in. Just the same way Amawu was sworn in. As to what appointment you are given, that one is irrelevant. It's irrelevant because anybody else could have been appointed, not necessarily a member of Parliament. So your appointment as minister or otherwise is not in question. What is in question is your eligibility as a member of Parliament. So if you look at the appeal that was done, the appeal is saying that he should stop holding out himself as a member of Parliament for that area. That one. Number two, he should, the speaker was injuncted to stop all processes leading to the payment of ex gratia. Because if the outcome of this case comes out in the reverse, he does not deserve it. That's what it means.
Deserve what?
He does not deserve the ex gratia because the court does not. The court does not validate illegality. The mere fact that your election was flawed, and that is declared by the court, every other thing that follows is lost.
If the court determines subsequently that he's not eligible to have held himself as MP, does that make his opponent then the eligible MP? And will those entitlements
we will get there. Whoever will benefit from that will get there. The court hasn't made such projections yet. What is in court is that the parties are challenging his eligibility as what's the name, as MP. Don't forget, this has to do with a portion of people who did not vote.
That is correct.
And because they did not vote, that vote was significant enough to tilt the results. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, so if they go to court and the court decided that by those people not voting, the Electoral Commission violated their rights, number one. Number two, the eligibility of the person so-called elected is in question. What it means is that nobody, the records will be expunged that nobody represented that constituency in that Parliament. It is not an emotional matter. It's a law. It's a legal issue. Then number two, just because you became an MP and declared by Electoral Commission and you worked as MP and you were declared later, or you were found out later not to be a legitimately elected MP, it's no brainer for us to give you money or to give you once that is negated or nullified, you lose everything. And that's what happened to this lady. All the salaries that she was even paid within the period, the court asked that she refund the salaries back to the state. And this is law. This is not emotion. This is not how you feel about it. This is not how. So we have a precedence. And I think that Amawu himself should be interested in this case because this goes to the very foundation of himself, his eligibility as a member of Parliament for the area. And I think that these are not issues we should toy with. For 4 years, a particular group of people did not have MP representation. And this, I know, is part of the reasons why even the Chief Justice is going through some of these things she's going through now, because I know some of the
this is shadow petition. This was sent to the main petition, but it's at the background.
No, it's at the background. She leaked the information. Who leaked it?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I mean,
sorry, I didn't say she leaked it.
Interesting, but we'll find time to continue this conversation. But thank you so much. Wanda Madilo is a member of the NDC's communications team. The Honorable Isaac Boamanyako, member of Parliament for Efia in the Western region. Thank you also so much. Of course, biggest gratitude goes out to you for choosing to stay with us throughout the news review segment here on Breakfast Daily. Don't go away. The show continues after this.
Some movies change the world, and you'll find them elsewhere. Mnet Movies 4 is just in it to change your mood.
Great.
They turn an ordinary night into something awesome. Make you laugh louder, smile bigger, and feel like a kid all over again.
Yay! This is gonna be so much fun!
The only thing our movies are seriously serious about is making you happy. All month long. On Mnet Movies 4 for the easy, cheesy, silly, funny, snort laugh classic movies of your life.
Every day, people have money emergencies. Ma, I need my school fees emergency. Mommy, chop money emergency. Emergency. Catch it. I'm your rent emergency. Now, there's a new emergency number in town.
More money, challenge and enjoyment. At the top life we got.
Dial star 770 hash for all your money emergencies and chop life.
Dial star 770 hash for money emergencies and get easy and quick access to your money, loans, and other banking needs. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Life is a celebration of moments. Big and small.
The sun is scorching, I'm feeling the heat.
With Piva Drink, every moment becomes a refreshing celebration. From the beach to your home, in every corner of your world, Piva Drink adds a burst of refreshment.
Give me Piva cocktail and tangerine.
Celebrate every moment with Piva Drink. Refreshment for every occasion. Piva Drink, a taste you will love.
P for Piva.
This advert is FDA approved.
Life moves faster. Cooking shouldn't slow you down. Introducing the newest Franco microwave. Specially made for you. The fastest and safest way to cook. Defrost, reheat, melt, and cook with Franco microwave with advanced technology that knows exactly what you want. Visit our website at www.francotrading.com. Download our Franco Trading app on Google Play Store or Apple App Store. For bulk purchases and enquiries, call the numbers on your screen. Franco microwave, simple controls, smart sensors. Franco, the home of quality microwave. Chef Steve is here. Round of applause for Chef Steve. Welcome.
We are making pizza.
Okay.
Quesadilla pizza.
Quesadilla, one of my favorites.
So if this was to be on the chopping board, would have been sticky.
Would have been sticky.
Yeah.
Okay, so apart from chicken, what other toppings, protein options can we use?
Protein options. If some people go as far as using pork.
Okay. So you just have a normal tablespoon?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so the vegetables go before the cheese.
Yeah.
So oregano or oregano. Whatever you want to call it.
So it's ready for the
So that's it?
Yeah,
so I can put it right into the oven?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going into the oven.
What's cooking? Hi. No, I can smell this
You
nice
can smell
aroma.
it. You can smell
Yeah,
it.
and I know it's pizza. Man,
Chef. Charlie.
Why are you a pizza
Even
chef?
before I taste it, you are good.
What's Cooking is brought to you by Tasty Tom and Kivo Pepper.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Once more, you're welcome to Breakfast Daily. My name is Chris Carter.
My name is Philip Nihlati, and as always, we bring you nothing but the best on the show from 9 to 11 a.m. where we say bye-bye to you. Just went by. It's Nana to 4 Boatin, still on Breakfast Daily. And Chris, today we have a lot for our viewers, from what the Accra Mayor is doing, what is happening at Kasoa, among other places, issues trending on X, on social media, and of course it's conversational. You can join us 0204-447033 so that we can have some sort of interactive program here. And yesterday or Sunday it rained. It's still in the trends.
Yes.
But before we go to the trends, I think I'm preparing much for the Agric Fair.
I'm also preparing for the Agric Fair. I've been saving, literally saving.
I want to come and collect all the crops and all the items from the place there.
Now that you hear that you are going to be dealing directly with the farmers, why would I want to flop that?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you want to take it directly from the farmers?
Yeah, so at least I can have, I can store food for about 2-3 months.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I do.
That's what you do?
Yeah.
2-3 months. I think I should be visiting your house. So Agric Fair 2025, the maiden edition is happening on 20th to 22nd of June 2025. Make sure that you are part of this all-important event, because it's the biggest exhibition and sale of fresh farm produce. We bring all the farmers to one location. No middleman, and no middleman again, as we keep repeating here. It's happening at the Ifwa Sunderland Children's Park. Make sure that you are part of it. It's from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day. So Friday 20th, Saturday 21st, and also Sunday 22nd. Make sure that you are part of this event, and no middleman. If you want to be part of this event, you see the numbers on your screens. Make sure that you are part of this event. If you are a farmer, whatever it is, from poultry to piggery, every livestock you are rearing, when it comes to farming of crops and all that, make sure that you are part of this event. And also, there will be enough for you to eat there, enough of dancing and enough of singing or music there. So some sort of entertainment will be there as well on the day of the event.
Right, and we have the City Business Festival that is coming up, and it's actually coming up on the 1st of June and will run through the 30th of June 2025. We have so much in store for you, so do well and keep your eyes on Channel 1 TV and Citi 97.3 FM. Remember that our sponsors are APSA and MTN, and you would not want to miss this for anything.
For City Business Festival is the period where you get to learn a lot about how to run your business, how to keep your business afloat. This day and age that business owners are complaining about money and how to make profit, they're making a lot of losses and all that. This is your best bet. Please make sure that you are part of this event, and just keep yourself abreast with issues. Learn and learn and learn again, because once you fail to learn, definitely some business tips in the business space, once you fail to learn, you will not, and I repeat, you will not be able to be successful in the space we find ourselves in.
And also one thing about the City Business Festival this year, it might trickle down to the Agric Fair a bit, because for anyone that will be at the Agric Fair and who is interested in farming or knowing the business of agriculture, you can actually learn a lot there, because apart from the selling and buying, there's also going to be a lot of talks, little forums about, how to handle this business, things you want to know about the agriculture sector, especially if you want to get into it newly.
So make sure that you are part of it. Agric Fair 2025 and also the Citi business period that is in the month of June. In the trends today, Kojo Sheldon is trending, Shatawale is trending, Accra is trending. I was asking you before we came on set that why is Kojo Sheldon trending? But it's a bit like you have the filler. Share with us.
Okay. Well, I do have the filler. Actually, but when I actually woke up this morning, I picked up my phone, read the Bible, did my prayers, and said, okay, let me just check the trends. And I just saw, Kojo Sheldon, what's happening? What's happening? So basically, the rains have actually caused a problem.
Kojo Sheldon stays at Lakeside.
Yes. What? No, Pantine.
I think that area is a lakeside place or something.
Well, then, so the thing is that there was a tweet by one of our sister TV stations that talked about, you know, his ordeal of the flood and everything that happened to him, especially for the fact that he actually made a video to show the world that, okay, look, what my house is flooding up, guys, this is what's happening in my area. And Shatawale actually quoted that tweet and said, oh, my brother, if you need help, let me know, but I'm sorry. And then Kojo Sheldon didn't find that funny. And that's how the drift started. They went back to, they were fighting the whole night. So
really?
I was going through the tweets, like they're fighting the whole night.
But do you think that Shatta genuinely wanted to help Kojo?
I feel like
I think they already have some sort of
friction. They already have their
yes.
drift. But if you read Shatta's tweet, I didn't see any sarcasm in it. I felt like probably he was genuine at that moment. Maybe there was a human touch to Shatta at that moment and not the savage touch. You know, he has a savage side and a human touch. I feel like the human touch came. He was like, oh, I'm sorry, my brother, if you need any help. So that if you need any help actually triggered him, and Kojo went back to back, insulted him and said, you should help your mom. You haven't helped your mom in a long time because your mom is on the radio begging for money and looking for rent. You should help your mom instead of trying to help me. And that was like a whole new world war.
There's a comment on X from Blacko. Blacko says that I think Shatawale should have just minded his business, and Kojo Sheldon could have been more professional in rejecting his help. A lot of people were affected by the flood.
Exactly.
And if someone wants to help, it shouldn't be for the cameras. Help should go to those truly in need.
But he didn't say he was helping for the cameras.
But then again, you said it publicly.
But
so if I should come for the help from you, it's equally going to go publicly. For instance, Shatawale should house Kojo Sheldon for a week, and you think that Shatta is not going to make some sort of TikTok video on it, or he's not going to bring it on X or Instagram or something. And if Shatta would even use it for a new track.
You know? Well.
So I think that's what is happening in the trends. Kojo Sheldon and Shatta, a lot of comments on that. Alkaline also says that violence between or with Shatawale and Kojo Sheldon. You know, Shatawale's tweet is here. Rain no feel beer for your day. It be your head way hit somebody important breakup.
And there was even a funny picture on that, you know, and you know, he just kept on going.
Is this interesting? So if you are seeing it on the trends this morning, Kojo Sheldon and Shatawale, and there's a picture of Kojo Sheldon in a boat with KSS written on it, and Shatawale wrote the story of Intikuma, the boat and the polytank, River God Part 1 and 2. It's just an interesting one you can see on your screen. There's also another one with Shatawale in the Noah's Ark, also trending on X. And
that's Kojo Sheldon, actually.
Yes, that's Kojo Sheldon's picture, the KSS one. And they said it's not that there was a flood in his area, it's his head that hit someone's polytank, and the polytank just got broken. And so those are some of the messages or the tweets on X.
So that trend actually trickled down and started another trend, and that other trend was an issue. It's Accra. Why is Accra trending? And it's still all about the rains. How, you know, anytime it rains, there are different parts in the city that are always flooded.
Yeah.
And people want someone to help, someone to fix this. And some are saying, probably this is the time to call Moses. Moses from the Bible, to use his rod and
divide the sea. And also, another issue that is also trending, making Accra to trend, is the Accra Metropolitan Assembly's task force, or the move initiated by the new mayor, Michael Papo Alote, and backing on a decongestion exercise. And from Berry Plus, it says that Accra Metropolitan Assembly task force has begun a decongestion exercise in the Central Business District, targeting areas like Kimbu Road, Opera Square. The traders are resisting, with some booing and physical confrontation reported, as AMA aims to restore order and some sort of restore order and improve sanitation in Accra. So
we talked about this on Friday.
Yes, and we will talk about it today.
Yeah, so we had this conversation on Friday.
We will definitely take our cameras there, or we will bring our lenses on the grounds and bring you all the actions, and also try and tell you what is happening there. So as you can see in your on your screens now is a task force, and you can see the AMA mayor, or the mayor in the middle, who is in the sea blue polo shirt with a cup, and he's moving with the task force, trying to bring some sort of sanity to the Central Business District. This morning, he started the exercise around 3 a.m. according to the reports we gathered on the grounds, trying to ensure that at least the city becomes very clean, and the decongestion, or the congestion in the city, becomes a thing of the past. He's tried very hard, having conversation with some of the traders, for them to understand the reason why they would have to move from the pavement and stay in their lane when it comes to selling their produce or their wares. So on your screen, you can see what the AMA mayor is saying. He says that he wants to be the youngest mayor with who has set a record. This morning, the question was posed to him, how old he is. He says that he's going to be 42 soon. So he wants to make sure that at least everything within his range as a young mayor is done and done well, so that it can also create the opportunity for another young person to be given the opportunity if it comes along the way. So we'll be going there live in the course of the show and bring you all the update on what the Accra mayor, Michael Papo Alote, is doing with the task force, ensuring that the Central Business District is cleared, and the congestion in Accra is at least becomes a thing of the past. Because see, if I go to Accra, I always say that I want to go to Makola, I don't want to go to Agboblushi area or something, because if I do, coming back, I feel exhausted.
Yeah. Because
there is human traffic, there is vehicular traffic, and there is what's the name? People are selling traffic. Everything. So that is what the mayor is trying to do, and we give it thumbs up. Another big question is, people are asking, for how long would this last?
Yes, and that's the question I asked too.
Sustainability.
Sustainability. Yeah. It's very important that this is sustained. It's very important that there's somebody accountable for this. There's a group of people accountable for or let's say there's an office accountable for this. To say, okay, if it's going bad again, or if the people have, flouted the rules again, it's time to take action. Let's do this every 2-3 months.
Yeah. One of the best mayors, one of the individuals who did this in his time, or during his time as the mayor, is Oko van der Poel, Alfred Oko van der Poel. He did so well, the MP for Ablekuma South. So I think that this thumbs up to the mayor. We'll be going down and we'll be bringing you all the updates. But for now, let's check out the video of the day.
Ghana, how can people, individual person, it's me, you should tanker, traffic on their own benefit. See Ghana, how can people, individual person, it's me, you should tanker, traffic on their own benefit. See Ghana, how can people, individual person, it's me, you should tanker, exit traffic on their own benefit. Oh. See Ghana. How can people?
Wow.
So imagine you are traveling and you are time bound, and people get the road blocked.
The audacity.
The audacity in Ghana.
The audacity.
Yeah. And you are stuck in the traffic, and it's not like they are boarded.
It's it's the indiscipline for me.
It's not like they are boarded. We are all trying to find our way, and it's becoming troubling on our roads every now and then. And you are just, oh, that's sad. Anyway, that's the video of the day. Chris, we would have to go back to Accra shortly and see what the mayor is doing. So this is what is happening on your screens now. Just the building there is the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. That is the building. I think the mayor is moving back to the premises of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly after a successful exercise. This exercise is going to be in 3 phases. I think I'll give you the update of how the exercise is going to be done in the greater Accra region, specifically in Accra, because that is the aim of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly.
Yeah, and it started early in the morning.
Yeah, it started very early. It started at around 3 a.m. according to the report together. So today is day 1, Tuesday, 20th May 2025. Triangle area, the AMA headquarters. Then they'll go to Kimbu Road to Railway, that is a Accra Brewery area. Then move to Electricity Company of Ghana Junction, that is Tema Station, to Railways, the Kentucky statue, and also move to the Kentucky statue, that is the Railway Park to Zongo Lane, and also move to Opera Square, stretch to Coral Paint around Adabraka. Tomorrow, which is a Wednesday, 21st May 2025, they'll go to Wato Junction to Kentucky Teria School at Adabraka, then move to Cow Lane to Kentucky Teria Statue Railway Park, then UTC Road to Children's Hospital around the Timber Market, then Kwame Nkrumah Circle to the main runabout to VIP runabout, Las Palmas. Then on the Thursday, 22nd May 2025, they would go to Kwame Nkrumah Circle to main runabout to VIP and Kaneshi Highway. So it looks like it's been segmented into today, tomorrow, and Thursday. So like I keep saying, we wish the AMA boss all the best and the task force that is embarking on this exercise. But sustainability is the big issue. But we still take our cameras there and bring you all the updates on that as well.
Yeah. So before we get straight into our communities and discuss more of the things that we have to discuss within our communities, let us start off with some music. And today it's from Cute Boy. Let's enjoy and we'll be back.
Men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Say why men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. So shall I stay? Would it be the same? For I can't help falling in love. You've been kept down for much too long. Stand up, please, and say I'm free. Don't forget, you are welcome home, welcome home. Come with me on this happy trip back to the promised land. And all will be happy again. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home. Akwaba, Brefie, Akwaba. Oh, Akwaba, Brefie, this is where you belong. Akwaba. Brefie, Akwaba, no, Akwaba, Brefie, this is where you belong. You've been gone, it's an empty home. Come on back where you really belong. You are always welcome home, welcome home. Yeah. I wake up, I see you as you leave. I feel it, yeah. I see it as you leave. When we kiss, I went deep, but you're far away. Be bange, but be bansho, be silly. Oh, be bange, but you're bar, be silly. She used to be my everything. Treated me like I was a kid. What spell did you cast on me? Always say they made me bitter. Say girl, be afraid of ever be loving me. Those words are hunger too. Oh God, I was a fool. You became my bad habit, keeping up appearances so you could notice. Even when you suddenly pick up your things and left the keys, that's crazy. Be banke, but be bansha. Be silly, be silly. Be banke.
So that is a cute boy giving us some tunes. But now we'll have to cross over and bring you a feed from the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. The Accra Mayor, Michael Bakpo Alote, is addressing the press.
We'll be looking at spaces within Accra, the streets, where we can allocate on a daily basis that they can go and trade. We're also looking at the pavements, the ones that are large enough to accommodate both pedestrians and traders, and try and put a demarcation there for them. But this exercise will continue till Accra is clean. I'll thank you once more for joining us for this exercise. We are taking a rest for about 2 hours because we started at dawn. And then we'll go back in the afternoon to make sure the exercise we did in the morning is not in futility.
media free what change your fan okay or deadline you want hang when okay or by sama me J 9-day wonder but as I said I don't give promises and I don't stand by the promises. Whatever I say I do. So what I'm saying is that this exercise is not a 9-day wonder. We are on the streets, so we make sure that the roads are clear and everybody will know that me joining with my brother here, we have done a great job. God bless you, but we are not done. The next 1 hour, we are going back to the streets. From here, we are going to we'll pass through where we are coming from, all the way to Circle. And if there is more strength, we'll go to Carnation. Then we'll continue tomorrow. God bless you. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
No question. May I continue the exercise?
Are you done with your things? Can I go?
No question. No question. We'll come back again. No question.
We'll see you in an hour now.
We are coming back again. No question. No question.
So that is Michael Pakoa Alote, who ended a press conference, and he has stated that they would go back in the next 1 hour. So it looks like the pressmen would have to stay so that they bring or they capture all the activities or concerning the decongestion exercise that the Accra Metropolitan Assembly is embarking on. But Chris, like I indicated, this is a very good exercise. Is going to get the central business district free, especially when you are walking around, because my problem is how to easily walk around or go to the central business district, buy whatever you want to buy, and easily move out and go home.
I think they are actually doing a great job. And for the fact that he said they are still going to other locations. I thought the whole thing had ended this morning.
Oh, no, it's not going to end because I think they've not done the Circle part from the list they gave. There are other parts they would have to do. But he's saying that even though they will do this, they'll ensure that the momentum is still there so they can do this as often as it has to be done so that the traders will know that he didn't come to joke, but that he came to ensure that Accra is clean.
Yeah, and I hope that the traders actually comply. Yeah. That's the most important part. I hope they comply, not just comply for the optics, so for the first or second day, and then go back to what it used to be. Because in as much as we are talking about sustainability and making this sustainable for them, I think it's a group work.
Yeah.
It's all hands on deck. We're doing our part, you're doing your part. Whatever problem they have, I think this is the time to also share their grievances so they find ways and solutions to actually help them solve it.
Like you've indicated, I think that the traders will just cooperate and wouldn't see this as a means to just cut their means of survival.
Exactly.
Some people will be like, I come to take our ends meet at the place we take our ends meet from. So if they are able to buy into this idea, like the mayor has initially said, and from the PR team of the mayor, that some sort of engagement was done before the exercise commenced, I think the better, because it's starting today, it will continue tomorrow and Thursday. But there's a bigger issue in Kasoa.
Yeah.
Kasoa is filthy. Yes, Kasoa is very filthy. We have this report filed by our correspondent, Akwesi, in the area. We'll bring you the report. You come back, we have a conversation on it. You speak to the authorities that be on how best we can keep Kasoa clean as Accra is being decongested. What is happening in Kasoa as well? Let's check out this report.
This is the Central Business District of the Awutu Senya East Municipality of the Central Region. And sanitation is one of the key challenges confronting this very area here in Kasoa. So currently where we are standing is the Kasoa Apambas terminal. And just as you can see in your shot, this is a heap of rubbish which have been gathered here for several days, and they have not been collected. The stench emanating from this area is very awful, and so we would want to touch base with the transport operators here as well as passengers to find out what they make of this particular situation and what specifically they would want authorities to do so far as the sanitation situation of Kasoa is concerned.
Yeah, bro, hapa and Kaboni toilet in Gum. What if you feel whatever? And I just so what by passing South Grano, at the bachelor would in a begu. Now, yet you in a quim. Private car to meet the border feeling, Sinica, moi, Beitra. Yaway, or to meet the baller, but to be a catcher so only faithful.
Last year's cholera outbreak, which took 8 lives, remains fresh in residents' memories. Many fear history may repeat itself if nothing is done to address the worsening sanitary conditions.
Passing by to see how unkept Kasoa is very heartbreaking. In fact, right now, if you go under this overhead, it has been meant for a dumping site. And you ask yourself, it has become normal here in Kasoa, and the food we buy are also sold over there. So if any time we have a situation of cholera, those of us living in Kasoa automatically become scared because it's a powerhouse of cholera.
The petty business we have around, people when they come to sell in the night and they don't go home with their rubbish, they just heap it around and the whole place is smelling. We are about hitting the rainy season. And so when we talk about cholera, it's also a big issue. So I don't know, the whole place is messed up.
Senior Bolano Ados Mohanedies, and 2 more, the Bebano, Nipa 5, the Bebechin is more than 5.
Health professionals warn that Kasoa's sanitation problem has reached crisis levels. Akoyo Okuno is calling for stronger enforcement measures to manage waste, particularly in the CBD.
We have located 2 areas that it's been considered. I know that they are playing composing.
Municipal Chief Executive Seth Sabasewonu Banini spoke to Channel 1 News about planned interventions.
One of the things that we have started doing is to vigorously search for places that you can, we must also be thinking about place convenient enough.
So, sorry for that technical challenge. We wanted to bring you the voices of Phyllis Nakoya, who is the MP for the area, and the MC for the area, but we'll be touching base with them shortly. That is the issue with Kasoa as we speak now, the central business district of Kasoa. One will ask that who is generating the filth, who is supposed to collect the filth, what has become of the situation now. But you can't stay in a community or you can't stay in an area where you are selling and the place is filthy like this. People are passing by, going about their day-to-day activities, bola stacked in polythene bags.
Trash everywhere.
And when it rains, where is this going to go to?
It's going to spread and then go straight into the gutters.
And when it goes into the gutters, what becomes of our houses?
Then
you see people like Kujo Sheldon suffering in their homes because we are not able to have better drinks in our areas. The drinks becomes full up. So I think that the situation really has to be fixed.
Yes, it has to be fixed. Especially for the fact that we're in the rainy season.
Yeah.
And looking at all the trends and how people have been, crying about the whole thingy, I think it's important that something needs to be done. And it's always easy to blame authorities. But what are the people themselves doing?
Yesterday, when we had a conversation with the Ghana Metro, they stated that what we just saw was at the tip of the iceberg. More rains will come. So if there are city authorities that are supposed to take action, crack the whip. If you would have to go to the marketplaces and ensure that people within the marketplaces are paying for the field to be cleared, so be it.
Exactly.
If it should be that the service providers, that is the sanitation service providers, are not doing their work, just cancel the contract. Terminate the contract, give it to a new person to go ahead and get the job done. Because, see, we can't stay in this for a very long time. This is
because there are so many questions to be asked, but the most important one is who is to be blamed for this?
Well, all of us, because it has to do with behavioral change.
Yeah.
We are not changing. We are still in our old ways of doing things. And mind you, this particular issue, if it's kept like this for a very long time, it becomes like a normal place for like a dumping site. So ideally, you go there and we dump our waste and we move on.
You say it's looking comfortable already.
Yes.
It's looking very comfortable.
And this is not the only place. Yeah. I know, like La Paz, the same thing. Around Ablekuma, the same thing. And Kwashiman, I think, the same thing. Major places. And we have refuse dumped at these places. Wow. And we are left like that. And we are all looking on. We are looking on, but the buck stops with leadership, I keep saying, because if the MMDCEs, like what the Accra mayor has started doing, decongesting Accra, and he's moving together with a task force to show that he's working, I think same can be done by the various MMDCs. You wouldn't want to just sit in your office, cross your leg, or and fold your arms and just command that it should be done. You have to be part of it. If you are not part of it, let's look at what is happening at Kasoa right now. We will try and speak to the MC and try and find out from you actions that are being taken. Yesterday, for instance, we spoke to the MC for Adenta, Esinam, and she stated that they are going to pull down some structures. We saw another action by the Kasoa MC pull down a shrine yesterday, a shrine under construction, and he says that this is on waterway and it has to go down, and it went down. So if it rains in the area, now where the water will pass, ideally, it's cleared, it will move. But if some action is not taken, we all bear the brunt. And what happened on Sunday, it just rained for 2 to 3 hours, or maximum 4 hours of rain, and we all found wanting.
And it was not even heavy, it was just consistent.
Yes. And we all found wanting. So if it happens that we are not paying attention to these things and we are failing to act as citizens, certainly it's going to affect us. Maybe we are not supposed to be citizens, we're not supposed to be spectators, we are supposed to be citizens, as the former president said. I think the earlier the better. So the regional minister, Linda Okru, has been going around trying to ensure that at least the place will be cleared and all that, and trying to ensure that he was working. But now that she has handed the baton over to the MMDCs, the issue should be done immediately and it should be addressed.
Right. So, but still on that, like on Friday, we talked about 8 people being persecuted in Kasoa for irresponsible waste disposal. And we still have that story on citinewsroom.com. And we'll just go through it a bit before you have a conversation with the reporter. Join us on citinewsroom.com. So the Owutu Senya East Municipal Assembly has prosecuted 8 sanitation offenders. The culprits were arrested for dumping refuse in the central business district of Kasoa, a practice contributing largely to poor sanitation conditions in the area. The arrests were made by an ad hoc task force established by the Assembly to patrol within the municipality, monitor and arrest sanitation offenders. They were subsequently arraigned before the Kasoa Ofako Circuit Court, and fines of up to 1,000 Ghana cedis were slapped against them. I quote, "We have successfully arrested and prosecuted 8 persons for dumping refuse in the CBD. These persons carry their refuse from their houses as far as Akwele and dump them on the CBD, contributing to the sanitation crisis." And this is by the Kasoa MCE, Seth Saba Sewonu Banini, who spoke to Channel 1 News.
So the individuals that were prosecuted, the 8 were further arraigned before the Kasoa Fanko Circuit Court, and the fines up to 1,000 Ghana cedis were slapped against them. I don't think that is even enough. Let's bring you our correspondent in Akwesi Ado, the Central Regional Correspondent. He brought us this report from Kasoa, the filth in the area. Akwesi, good morning. Akwesi Ado, good morning. Well, we are still working around the lines to bring you Akwesi Ado, who is our Central Regional Correspondent, for us to have a conversation on what is happening at Kasoa. Akwesi Ado, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I trust you are doing well.
By grace,
good. So, with the issue at Kasoa concerning the filth, is it only around the station or entire Kasoa market?
Okay, so it's the entire municipality that is Kasoa. Virtually it's a market. So we have two main market centers, which are the Kasoa Old Market, situated within the Central Business District. And so that is the area that encompasses the Old Pongpehe, Zongo, Adankope, and then the high tension second bus stop area. And then we have the Kasoa New Market, which is also situated at on the Kasoa Bodiate stretch. And within these areas, it's a similar story. Because right from the bus stop at the Jutat pharmacy, that is at around the Old Market, through to the opposite side of Jutat Hospital, you find this field gathered in heat at the various bus stops. The situation is same with the other side of the road. And it's very worrying because last year, at around October, we had a cholera outbreak here in the municipality. And that outbreak led to the death of about 8 persons. And the sanitation issue here in Kasoa keeps worsening. So residents are raising concerns. They fear that there can be another outbreak of cholera, which may be very more devastating than that which we experienced in last year, October. Last year in October, when the cholera disease broke out in the municipality, all health facilities became completely overwhelmed. The wards became full up, and then authorities had to even mount tents just to cater for people who got affected. The reason we are witnessing what is now being described as a crisis is that for some time now, the company that has been hired to collect waste from the Central Business District, that is Premium Lion, has not been able to discharge their mandate effectively. So the assembly is now relying on volunteers to collect refuse from the Central Business District. And that particular system isn't working because they do not have that capacity to deal with these large volumes of refuse that are deposited in the Central Business District. And Philip, the rubbish that is kept in the CBD is contributed by one, the traders around the area, and then two, residents within the municipality. So, for example, you have someone carrying their refuse from as far as Apele, which is about 2 or 3 kilometers away from the Central Business District, depositing their refuse at the CBD. And it is same as the new market, especially on Wednesday and on Saturday. So what happens is that the Kasoa new market operates on Tuesday and Friday. So every day after a market day, it's really an awful thing to behold at around the new market area. And there is something I term as one life for one baller, because at every electricity you will find a huge amount of refuse gathered there. So this is the situation residents are dealing with here in Kasoa.
Wow.
All right, so let's talk about the issue of cholera. You mentioned that there was an outbreak of cholera last year. So have there been any signs of illnesses right now as we speak, or is it just an issue of what may happen next if this is not taken care of?
this is not an issue of what they have next, because I think about 3 days ago, I interacted with a municipal health director, Dr. Yeji, and he mentioned to me that currently the health officers here in the municipality are dealing with high numbers of dysentery and other sanitation-related diseases. And so it is posing a stigma of what may happen to the municipality. So nothing be done about it.
Right. And what how are residents actually reacting to this? Apart from just talking and complaining, are they also organizing cleanups themselves? I mean, if the people designated to do it are not doing it, what are the residents themselves doing for themselves to help themselves?
There's been a number of cleanup exercises in the last month. It keeps happening. We have volunteer groups who have been doing that, and then the municipal assembly, also led by Chef Sabatewumi Bani, has also been organizing some cleanup exercises. But the main problem is that residents would want to see authorities take action. What action do they want authorities to take? If someone is bringing their refuse from their house to deposit them at the CBD, compounding the situation, they would want to see authorities take action by arresting these persons and then prosecuting them in order to deter others from also doing so. Because even if the refuse is collected this morning, by noon, you will come back to the same spot to find a piece of refuse also gathered at the exact place where you collected your fish in the morning. And so it's like you would have to be engaged in a routine collection of refuse throughout the day. There is no risk for, sanitation workers.
And also, what is the assembly doing about this? Because you said that the service provider that is supposed to collect the refuse is not coming. According to the MC, or if you had an engagement with the MC, is there any arrangement to find out from them why they are not taking the refuse from wherever it is to whatever they need to dispose it of?
Okay, so another aspect of the problem has to do with a final disposal site for the assembly. So what I've been told by the NCA is that currently the municipal assembly doesn't have any site for the disposal of waste that is collected from within the municipality. And so that is what they are currently working on. And this has been a long-standing issue because the Zoom Lion, which is responsible for collecting waste from the CBD, has always complained about them not having a final disposal site. So now the MCA says they are trying to work to find a final disposal site. And then two, I also engaged the MP for the area, Felix Napoyo, and there is suggestion for additional hands to be employed so that we would have other waste management companies apart from Zoom Lion alone dealing with the waste within the central business district.
I know around that particular place, the Kasoa place or the central business district, some police officers often stand there or they are stationed there. Aren't they there? And if no, which individuals have been stationed there by the assembly to ensure that nobody dumps refuse within the enclave?
So we don't just have police officers stations at around the CBD. We even have a police station just within the CBD, located just under the overpass. So that is the CBD police station. And they have been taking action. So what the assembly has done now is that they formed a task force. So the task force has the personnel from the police service, from the fire service, other state security agencies, and then some persons from the assembly itself. So what they will be doing is that they will be patrolling within the CBD and even other parts of the municipality. And they will be looking out for persons who deliberately carry their refuse from the house and then deposit them within the CBD. Philip, there's a concerning matter. You may meet someone in Kasoa carrying a suitcase, properly dressed, and you would sense this guy is going to the office. He would deposit the suitcase somewhere. You'd go and open it, and you feel the threat. So the task force will be dealing with this person. And let me mention that they have already arrested about 8 persons, and then had all of them prosecuted. The Kasoa Patrol Court has issued fines against some of these persons who cases have been concluded. And so the MCE has assured that this particular exercise will be sustained in order to serve as a deterrent to others.
Inquisitor, thank you so much for your time, and we are grateful that you joined us and brought us that update from Kasoa Central Business District. It has to do with the filth in the area. It's becoming one too many that individuals are dumping filth or refuse in the area, which is so bad. Chris, that area, I remember very well, we went there to do community forum ahead of the 2024 elections, and like he stated, we just mounted say the plate or the canopies close to the police post. There's a police post there. We can ensure that whatever is being done is being dealt with. We will soon be engaging the MC to find out from him what actions he's taking to ensure that at least a central business district in Kasoa becomes clean.
Very important.
At least it becomes clean, because we just don't know why there will be a problem like this, and we can't be easily solved, because if there is filth around that area and people are just bypassing, somebody throws away a Piosa sachet, somebody throws away a polythene bag, somebody throws away a paper, nothing is being done. Gradually, it becomes a very big dumping site within the central business district. And now when the sickness starts coming, we will all be blaming the government, because you think that the government is not doing its work. It's true. The MC or the authorities there are supposed to do their work. But then again, the citizens too, it behoves on us to do it. What stops the market leaders from in the area from ensuring that the right thing is done?
Exactly.
What stops the trader nearby that the right thing is done? If you have refuse in your home and the refuse hasn't been taken, you should find a way that the refuse will be taken. It should be sent to the right place for disposal. But like Akwesi also stated, the Kasoa Township itself, you are battling with a final disposal site. So if you don't have a final disposal site, how then do you push your things there or try and work around getting a permanent place where the refuse can be done? Because Kasoa, I don't know. It's just interesting that we are just having issues with this. Accra is congested, Kasoa is also another place on its own, and we have so on and so forth issues within places. But like it's been stated, the MMDCs must really do their work.
Yes, sir.
So soon we are going to be joined by the MC for Ewutu Senya, so that he would give us his side of the story.
Right, so he's actually on the line now.
Yeah.
We have Setsaba Sewanu Banini, who's the MCE of Ewutu Senya East. Honorable, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. You're welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thanks a lot.
All right, so Kasoa is actually at the risk of a public health outbreak due to poor sanitation. What has gone wrong?
Thank you very much, and a very good morning to your cherished listeners. We have a few challenges in Kasoa. Today happens to be the 17th day in office as MCE. Upon assuming office, we got to know that the primary contractors of waste management within the central business district. And I must say that the area under review is the central business district. Okay, we realized that the primary contractors, that is Zoom Lion, and their workers were on strike. So on my first day in office, I constituted an emergency team to take care of our sanitation. And so as part of effort to make sure that what was happening or the rubbish and the garbage we see on the screens now are handled, I would mostly leave office in the evening and then drive straight from work to the central business district, the 5 cardinal entry points of the place, to make sure that those that we have contracted to handle our sanitation issues are actually working and all that. I would mostly leave there around 12 a.m. The workers stay back and then work until 4 a.m. They clear every space. So we realize that between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m., people deliberately bring garbage from their household to these points and then dump them in ways that you wouldn't observe. And we also realized that at the initial stages, people, for whatever reasons, whether political or an attempt to sabotage the work that we are doing, would contract bicycles and all that, and then get them to come and take the rubbish at vantage point. This led us to quickly have a meeting with the security agencies and the security heads in Kasoa. And so we put in place an ad hoc task force that has so far arrested some 8 people, prosecuted 4, and then the other 4 are also being processed for it. We realized that the entire constituency or the entire municipal assembly do not have a combustion truck and then a compactor truck on our own, which makes the collection and the management of the waste a bit more difficult, because most of the people that we contract are private individuals who are engaged elsewhere. And so I have used every platform I've got to appeal to the local government minister to help us get one for ourselves. Another major issue that I have come to realize in this 17 days in office happens to be a lack of dumping sites within the area. Ewutu Senya or Kasoa is quite big in land size with population and all that, which makes our rate of refuse generation more high. And having no dumping site here serves as a major problem, because the time it will take you to shuttle one truck from the constituency to 2 constituencies away to use their dumping truck takes about 5 hours to do that. And so upon assuming office, I quickly put together a team that we have gone to look around and found a place that can be used for dumping site should it meet the environmental requirements, and then also should the landowners enter into an agreement with us. We are still in talks with them. I also must say that upon assuming office last week, Thursday, I put together the maiden edition of sanitation dialogue in the history of the municipality. It has never happened. And so we have to write to bring all service providers within our sanitation sphere to a roundtable discussion, the health directorate, the environmental directorate, the security forces, every stakeholder, the market women, the people that ply their trade on the shoulders of the road or in and around the central business district. We brought all these people to a roundtable discussion to brainstorm and discuss the way forward. I must say that every stakeholder was excited to be there, and the resolutions that came out from the dialogue are going to form part of our major action plan to provide lasting solutions to the problem. The sanitation problem we are discussing now is just around the central business district. It has been an age-long canker for the municipality. I personally am a person of action, and I don't want to manage it as it has been done before. We want to deal with this once and for all. Reason why we had brought the maiden sanitation dialogue to stay. We have also had fruitful engagement with the police, immigration, fire, and then prison service, who are operational within our jurisdiction. and then the assembly task force that is working. The 8 people that were prosecuted were caught red-handed, in the act of bringing rubbish. Some of them brought rubbish from their home as far as 1 kilometer back to the Central Business District. And so I have used any other opportunity I've got to appeal to the people that we cannot continue to live like that. You generate rubbish or refuse from your home, and you think the most easiest place to come and dump it. You could see from the way it's been tied. They carry it on their shoulders as if they are carrying some goods away. And then when they get there, they watch left and right, no one is around, and they dump it. And so the task force, we are going to collaborate with the security forces to make sure we enhance 24-hour patrol from the place, and then we would be able to bring all the culprits to their hand. One major issue that has been a headache, and we are handling it, is the pickup site. I had a meeting with the Regional Health Directorate for Central Region on the issue, and he said that because of the rapid population growth in Kasoa, all the land they earmark for pickup points, that is where we can bring skip cans and all that within the area, have all been encroached upon. And so one of the things that I've taxed the Works Department and then the Planning Department of the Assembly is for us, we are on ground, it's for us to look for places, private places that we can enter into agreement with and acquire those places so that we can bring the skip cans or the boiler containers to the places to give solution to the household people to be put there. And then we, as an assembly, will make sure that as and when it gets full, we quickly lift it and then we take it to the dumping site. And so I must say that, indeed, the report says that we are on the verge of doing that. But I must say, this 17 days in office, majority of our effort has been channeled through getting this canker done, and the situation is very largely under control.
So you've made mention of a number of things that you are trying to do, but I want to ask you for timelines. Very important, because the refuse we are seeing currently at the Central Business District, is there any plan that is going to be collected today, tomorrow, or by close of this week? Is there any plan like that?
What you are seeing now is not a current issue. I could send you footages of cleaning that was done yesterday evening. Okay, I get daily briefings like that. If we had spoken earlier, I would have sent you footages of what was done as of yesterday. Okay, what you are seeing there are previous shots that your people, probably your reporters, okay, gave to you. If not so, I would have given you footages. These are previous, that is the early stages or before I came into office. We have lasting plans, lasting solutions to that. For instance, the dumping sites, we've had first engagement with, the people that own the place. And we have scheduled other engagements to get them on board, so that we can have the negotiations, enter into agreement with them, and then we can go on. I have sent some footages to your producer, okay, before and after. That was last night, okay. But it looks like before we could finish talking, the people moving gently, and then they dumped that. That is why the task force is in section to apprehend the people. I must say that there has been considerable improvements in the situation compared to the first day I assumed office, and then now there has been considerable improvement. In fact, when I close from work, I leave office, I come very early, like 7:30. I leave office by 7:30 p.m. Yesterday, for instance, I left office around 8 p.m. Okay, when I leave, I just move straight to the Central Business District. Sometimes I disguise myself. I don't use the official car. I pick up a taxi or I pick up another car, and then I drive to observe the situation for myself and get first-hand information. And so I must say that we have done considerable work in that. I have sent some footages to your producer, if you can show that. That was yesterday, and the cleaning that we have done. The
okay, so and also the sustainability is very important, because though the exercise will start, someone may say, isn't this a 9-day wonder? What is the level of ensuring that this thing that you are doing is sustained so that it can travel for a very long time and that central business district becomes a very clean place?
Issues that borders on our health cannot be termed as a 9-day wonder. I personally am an urban development student at the master's level. I am an urbanist. I understand the complications of this. And so having the opportunity to inform decisions and policies that will transform our society, I wouldn't want to tackle it from a 9-day wonder. If you listen carefully, all the things that I've highlighted are issues that are going to provide lasting solutions to this and not manage it. I actually visited the dumping site in less than 7 days in office. But there has been previous administration, nothing was done. I could also send you footages of the dumping sites that I visited. I have also said that we are having conversations with the people, okay, the works department, the engineers in the assembly. We are actually having conversations with people to acquire either pieces of land within the area so that all the refuse that are being generated from the house, we could have a pickup point, bring cans to the place, and then we can be able to move them as and when they come up. These are sustainable ways of doing that. We also have a standing force, a task force in place that is making sure that perpetrators or people that think they can still do that by easy way, or they may want to create an impression of sabotaging our work, all these people would also be apprehended. These are some of the measures that we are using to bring the situation under control and make sure that the central business district is freed of all these, all these menaces that we are currently seeing. I have just forwarded some footages to you as to the lasting dumping site that we are talking about.
Right.
We have also started engaging private developers who use modern technology to be able to generate manure, provide work for people to also come in, because of our size and the rate of generation, we stand a chance to make financial gains when we invest properly. And all those events have started, which we are bringing it under control.
Right. We've seen some of the footage. Well done. And I didn't think you, I'm sure you didn't expect this for your first 17 days. But yes, this is a lot to handle for your first 17 days. But anyway, congratulations on that. I mean, you're doing what you've got to do. And it seems like you have a lot. And we just want to wish you good luck and more grease on your elbow. But then again, what steps is the Assembly taking right now to prevent the outbreak of cholera? Are you having conversations with the people? Do they know how important it is to, actually keep the environment clean before we fall into another outbreak, especially from that area? And yeah, it will be hard to deal with. So what are you doing right now?
Yes, so we have had public education from the environmental health department of the assembly. We have had sustained educational level that is running through. And then also each time at the dialogue, we brought in the district director of health and then the environmental health directorate to speak extensively on this issue. That is at the dialogue level that was carried out. But on field, myself, the environmental health director, we have carried out this sustained energy, not just around the central business district, but then in the adjoining homes that are around the central business district. We are encouraging people to know that, last year there was a cholera outbreak that took 8 lives from Kasoa. And so we are using that as a benchmark to educate our people and also to bring them to attention. You see, we don't want to have anything escalated. And so we try to highlight them. And I wanted to even tie in the project that we are doing to decongest the central business district, which has improved. Yesterday, if you live around Kasoa, if you drive around Kasoa, you know that the traders are now moving away from the tarred road, because I've had sustained meetings with them, about 3 different meetings with their heads in the office. And then we had come to a consensus in the presence of the law enforcers and the task force commander. And so yesterday, if you went to Kasoa, you would have seen that everyone is moving away from the tarred road. And so before we come in to move on grounds with the task force, that is being done. And everything is about leadership. Everything is about leadership, getting the direction, and then getting people along and working together. We've been using the tools of consultations, consensus building, and all that to overcome this menace. I've also sent some footages to your producer that you can show on my night duty shift at the Central Business District whenever I go there. So this, what is currently showing now is before. You would see the other images after we have collected and all that. You will see all those things. We are committing resources to this. We are committing men to it. We are committing time to it. And I can assure you that with the cooperation of all stakeholders here, we will be able to overcome this. And I must say, you know, this morning before your call came in, I've had people that are approaching me and then trying to get us to be lenient on the people. There are 4 people now that will be taken to the court. You know, this is what we are trying to tell our people. The decisions that would make us move forward are not pleasant to the ears, but they are the very decisions that will give us the desired result. Okay, so people must not commit the crime and think maybe because they know people in authority, they know myself, they know other people around the assembly, other people who could call the shot, they could just come and then commit the wrong and then come and plead. No, we have laws in this country, and the laws, everyone has a duty to respect the law. Everyone has to do that. And so people that are doing stuff that will not bring the progress, when they are apprehended, we would watch the law to take its course. Some people must be used to serve as deterrents, because this canker, if it explodes, all of us will have ourselves indicted in it. So we are using this big opportunity. I'm using this big opportunity to appeal to everyone living in Kasoa, okay, and around the Central Business District, to desist from acts that will not bring us. You see, Kasoa is very big, but you see that particular act around the Central Business District, that small Central Business alone, is making the entire Kasoa look dirty. It's making the entire Kasoa look dirty. And the area, you see, because that place is the focal point of Kasoa, it looks like we make a generalization that affects the entire Kasoa. But it's not true. Kasoa is bigger than the Central Business District. And we can allow just about 200 people doing their business and causing us trouble to continue to make us lose the integrity of Kasoa. That is one thing that we are going to move in. And we want them to cooperate with us. We have invited heads of various groups, representatives from the traditional authorities, representatives from the law enforcers, representatives of the market women, the various associations around. Anyone that is a stakeholder in this particular menace, we are ready to make sure that we tackle the issue head on. Good.
Mr. Banini, before you go, Sunday's rains, do you have some communities in the Ewutu-Senya East municipality getting flooded?
Yes, thank you very much. On Sunday, myself and then my MP, or our MP, Honorable Dr. Phyllis Nakoyo Okuno, we were out in the rains right from 4 p.m. until 12:30 a.m. when we left and then came home. There are several places that got flooded. There were several places that were submerged. And so we visited each and every site in the rain, to provide relief services and then to provide evacuation services to the people. There are places like Gao Line, Jomes, Pomote. The place were totally submerged in the presence of our new NADMO director, Nash Nyadi, who was seen. If you watch the video, you could see him in the water, moving people away. The MP herself was there, myself as the MCE, who were there. Places around Dokuche Kope, they were there. At Dokuche Kope and even Gaona, we realized that there is a river we call Kudu River. It has a stream downstream towards the sea. Along this, it's a huge river. People have built very close to the banks of the place. Less than 20 meters away, we have houses there, which even compromises the buffers principle of a project. And I don't think that previous administration or engineers give them approval for that. People have just encroached and built haphazardly. There are even no community drains around that place because it's not been planned like that. And so when the water even comes, the reversal water comes to the settlement there, and it doesn't even move until the main drain submerges. This one doesn't move in. We also realize that at Iron City, Virgin Kits, upstream, the whole place, the whole drain is wide. Coming down, people have built and closed up a certain channel of the water, and so the water comes, hits back, and then moves back, hits the wall, and then moves back. In the moving back, that's where it enters the shops, the rooms of people, and all that. We gave them sensitization. As I speak with you now, the works department, yesterday, we deployed them to go and do a complete assessment of the place so that if need be that we have to demolish the place and then make way for the water to come, we will do that. As I speak with you, the MP has made arrangements for a number of excavators to be deployed into the various channels of the drain. A number of them because the span of the river is high, it is very lengthy. And so if we use one excavator, it will take us more time. So we'll divide the span, put one excavator, put another one, put another, so that they can be working concurrently to make sure that every dredging that we have to do to distill the drains, we do that.
Good.
We also realize that there were people that have built in waterways, clear waterways,
So
have their affairs there.
So finally, before we let you go, did you have any casualties, any deaths, or people?
Fortunately, by the grace of God, we didn't have any casualty. At Iron City, a woman almost got drowned, but by the timely intervention of the community people, they were able to rescue her. So before we got there, she was rescued and she's safe. But in a whole, about 500 people got directly affected. Some buildings like that, which we are looking at how to provide some relief services to them. We have spoken to NADMO to do a comprehensive assessment of what is happening so that we can relay the information to the regional level. So at the moment, the NADMO store here or the warehouse here within the assembly, we don't have anything. So we have quickly made calls to the regional and then the national level. Before we started this interview, I was having a conversation with the regional director who had to enter a meeting, and so we'll continue the conversation here. The district director of NADMO just left my office for that, and we are looking at how to provide relief services. On Sunday, during the rains, we had to look for temporary accommodation for people, relocate them to churches and then mosques where they could get temporary shelter to keep their places in. But we made them understand when we got there that they have to cooperate with us because some of the buildings will have to be brought down.
Okay, Mr. Banini.
Some of the places they would have to move away from.
Point well made, said Banini. Thank you so much for your time. We are grateful that at least you give us the audience and you've spoken to us extensively about the sanitation situation at the CBD, at Kasoa, and also the flood situation on Sunday in the area. You're still watching Breakfast Daily on Channel 1 TV. We'll be back with more.
Connected to DSTV this April and May and get all the football finals you want.
The Ghana Traditional Council, on behalf of the entire Ghana state, announces the annual ban on drumming and noise making as part of the sacred rites leading to the Homo Festival.
Ghana Mamu, Timfe Anali, Adesin, Imlai Nicole, Ogan Dumo, Ongwe, Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The ban across the Gun State will take effect from Monday, May 12th to Thursday, June 12th, 2025. However, Osu, La, Teshi, Nungwa, Tema, Boom, Pram, and Ningo traditional areas will observe their bans separately, with dates to be announced by their various councils. During this period, all visitors are required to comply with the following regulations. Religious activities to be confined within premises without the use of external loudspeakers, no drumming, clapping, or use of musical instruments in public places, no roadside evangelism or street preaching with loudspeakers. There will be no funeral or burial ceremonies within this period up until the 20th of June 2025. This practice is not only a cultural tradition, but also protected under the 1992 Constitution of Ghana, ensuring the preservation of our customs and identity. A dedicated task force, in collaboration with the Regional Security Council, Metropolitan, Municipal and District Assemblies, as well as the Ghana Police Service, will strictly enforce compliance. We urge all residents, institutions and visitors to respect this sacred tradition as we uphold our cultural heritage and foster social harmony. Nyata, Nyo Manyaba.
Hello and welcome to Entertainment Highlights on Breakfast Daily, powered by GhanaWeekend.com and presented by myself, Ni Komite Kome. Now to our first highlight. Ghanaian music duo Lali and Lola have petitioned the Minister of Communications over unpaid streaming revenue from Boomplay dating back to April 2023. They allege a lack of transparency and payment despite consistent streams, calling for government investigation into Boomplay's royalty model. The case highlights wider issues of digital rights, fair compensation, and the need for regulatory oversight in Ghana's evolving music economy. Boomplay has yet to respond publicly. Now to our next highlight. Popular Ghanaian YouTuber Kwejo Sheldon has rejected an offer of help from dancehall star Shatta Wale after floods damaged his home in Accra, citing a past snub by Wale in the UK. Sheldon called out public hypocrisy for urging him to accept the gesture. His refusal has sparked a debate online, with opinions divided over pride versus pragmatism in crisis. The controversy follows recent heavy rains that led to widespread flooding across parts of Accra. Now to our next highlight. Former US President Joe Biden, who is 82 years old, has been diagnosed with advanced high-grade prostate cancer that has spread to his bones. His office confirmed the diagnosis on Sunday, noting the cancer is hormone-sensitive and manageable. Biden, who withdrew from the 2024 election due to health concerns, is now reviewing treatment options. Political figures from across the spectrum, including Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, have expressed their support. The news highlights Biden's long-standing advocacy for cancer research following the 2015 death of his son, Bo, from brain cancer. Now, to our next highlight. Music executive Ricky Tennyson has called for the red carpet segment of the Telecel Ghana Music Awards to be managed by fashion professionals. Speaking on Channel 1 TV, he urged the involvement of fashion bloggers and magazine editors to elevate its prestige. Drawing comparisons to the Met Gala, Tennyson argued that red carpet moments leave long-lasting impressions and should be treated as a stand-alone production. He believes proper planning by fashion experts would boost the TGMA's cultural relevance and visual appeal. Now to our next highlight. Diana Na Ajeli Ajay, reigning Miss Akwaba of Unimark IJ, has reflected on her journey since winning the title in February 2024. In an interview with Ghana Weekend, she highlighted personal growth, new opportunities in media and public speaking, her commitment to purposeful representation. Notable milestones include her first runner-up position at Miss Akwaba Ghana 2024, a South African tour, and roles as a youth advocate and brand ambassador. Diana's reign underscores how the Miss Akwaba platform empowers students through cultural pride and impactful engagement. And now let's check out Channel 1 TV's Top 10 Countdown.
Number 10. Obrami boy give me one mame ya with the G kakra mi nienti me mani wa na.
Number 9. Number 8. Number 7.
I need some help.
Number 6.
It's too late. You lost a good one.
Number 5.
But I'm just another guy, Obsessed to my morals, concerned with my liberty. Options overflow.
Number 4.
Look at her face, look at her bum bum, look at her waist. What a bum bum, baby my taste. What a bum bum, baby my grace.
Number 3. Number 2.
Oh my days, I never want to share my girl. You know make I carry your love. You never me say love.
Number 1.
Shake it to the max. DJ please turn up the bass to the max. Please just rewind, let me shake it to the max. 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 Please just rewind, let me shake it to the max.
Caribbean girl, me know for tick, me know for top. Yeah, man, I watch my body like say them, I watch a match. Yeah, anything him say them, girl, I do it like it's tax. But make my own money like the girls in movie trap.
This is the Channel 1 Countdown.
And that's a wrap on your top entertainment stories for the day. Follow us at Ghana Weekend on Instagram, X, Facebook, and TikTok. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ghana Weekend TV, for exclusive interviews, event coverage, and video highlights you won't see anywhere. Log on to GhanaWeekend.com, your number one source for all things Ghanaian entertainment, music, film, lifestyle, and more. This was presented by Ni Komite Kome.
All right, welcome back, and that was our entertainment highlight of the day. Right now, it's time for us to get into an exciting conversation, and this conversation is going to be with our personality of the day. So our personality of the day is a beacon of hope, compassion, and excellence in healthcare. She has not only dedicated her life to, saving others, but has also raised Ghana's flag high on the global stage. Out of thousands of nominations from across the world, she has been selected as one of the top 10 finalists for the prestigious $250,000 Astor Guardians Global Nursing Award. Ladies and gentlemen, our personality of the day, Naomi Oyo Ohene Oti. You're welcome. She's an oncology nurse specialist at Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Hello, superstar. It's really nice to have you in the studio with us, and congratulations on being selected as a finalist. Wow, how did that news make you feel?
Wow, it was quite humbling. Thank you, and good morning to all your listeners. It was humbling, very deep emotional feeling. I think just 2 weeks ago, I had a mail that there's a meeting, you know. This award went to a lot of rigorous, like say, commitments. Every day, bring this to justify whatever you pitched. We really wanted to know whether what you were saying was the truth. So every time you document that you have presented already, asking here. And so I had another email, and you know, my heart was just beat. Another interview, that kind of thing. So, and it was 5:30 a.m. So that was a weird time for a meeting. Yeah. So okay, I just dressed up, set up my computer, and I studied. And I went in. So I had logged on, waiting for the meeting to 10 minutes before the meeting. And when just at 5:30, they opened up. They invited me in and just said, "Congratulations, you're on top 10." Those who were crying were crying. You know, it was like, because we were expecting maybe another rigorous interview, and that was the moment. It's like, wow, you know. Initially, we have what some award is, you just go for it and that's it. But later on, just reminiscing and reflecting, it's like the whole world, over 100,000. Yeah. So that was quite humbling. Out of all this, a lot, and you've been taken out of the top 10. It was quite humbling, and I could see that there's more of the resilience and the dedication of our nurses across Ghana and Africa. And I carried their story, I carried their, like I say, their challenges, their triumph. With all this, sometimes it's pushing me to soldier on, and that's, will I say, not recognition. There's this word I wanted to use. I've forgotten it. It means that everything that you do matters. You should not really put it aside that, oh, I'm not being recognized, but just do it with your whole heart. Your passion, yes, it will eventually pay off. Right.
So can you walk us through the journey of you being a nurse, where it all began and what actually inspired you in this profession, to take this profession on?
Right, thank you very much. Okay, one point in time I met, I think in my training days, just almost my last year, I met this woman, an able woman. I could say maybe she wasn't too older than I am. I was a young nurse at that time, but was strong, not someone who was feeble, but was in pain. And then I asked to ask the attending physician, what can we do? And said, oh, we've given her, at that time, petidem, we've given her petidem, she's going, what can we do? She said, oh, we've exhausted what we have. She had surgery, and there was this one chemo drug that they gave, and it's not working, and that's it. So I was wondering, so can't anything be done about, I mean, was her fears, her cries? And that really, there was a turning point that, what can I do? Maybe there's something I also can do to be able to bring some hope to such patients. So then I think opportunity came, and I wrote to the National Radiotherapy Oncology and Medicine for an appointment, and I was taken. And I think I've never looked back. We've had other colleagues who left and went elsewhere, but at least that drive, that passion to make a mark, to make a change into the patient care, and also to mentor others to be able to hold on to the baton have kept me on. So the shift really came when I had the opportunity, and I think 2002, to study clinical trials in breast care in Mayo Clinic in the US. And that caused a shift, because initially I always see general nurses taking care of patients. But there I saw specialist nurses, and they were doing more, very empowered, and were making critical decisions for the patient. I stayed there for about 3 months, and I saw the outcome of what they were doing. So that caused a shift that, no, I cannot stay as an ordinary nurse, so a general nurse. Yes, I need to be empowered to be able to cause a change in the life of our patient. And so there was no training at that moment. And coming back, at least I tried to get do the maximum that I can, some knowledge, and came home. And superiors were very happy, helped me to be able to implement certain things. Along the line, there was this drive to learn to add more because I wasn't satisfied. The only thing within Africa was to go to South Africa, and that was a lot of money. Management wasn't having that unless they get some funds.
So you're going to South Africa for further studies?
For further studies. So my first conference in Sydney, Australia was in 2004, was by the help of, I met this woman in Ghana who was then the past president for Oncology Nursing Society in the US. And having interaction, they said, Naomi, I will let you go for this conference. Then that will change your perspective. So we went in and then saw this flyer that was going on, Oncology Nursing Distant Education course. And I thought, maybe this we can do with this. And so I came home and talked to management. Initially, they were a bit skeptical. How can you be doing this training? Because it involves a lot of skills. How can you be doing it in a distant education and get the maximum out of it? But I was able to lobby another physician oncologist. At that time, I had 3 oncologists and 1 oncology nurse specialist. When I came into the system, long and behold, she had to also go for further studies, so she left. So then I lobbied 1 oncologist who, she had just come from the US and she knew the terrain, what nurses in specialty are doing. So she also, together with me, pitched in for management and they accepted for us to do this program. 2 of us did this program. Then we came to help the others, so like support trainer, and they also were enrolled into the program. It was a year program. So this program was sustained for a time until Ghana started its own college. So that has been my journey. And I also had the opportunity of into the African space, became the vice president for nursing in the African Organization for Research in Cancer Care. And this organization is one of the biggest organizations for all health workforce in cancer care. And that one, I think I had to push for the voice of nursing to be heard in such cities, because we usually were like just, we'll say, supporting, but they had to be seen, because for most of the policies to be implemented well, it has to be nurses, because they said they are the heartbeat of the healthcare system, and they are the largest force that you can. So if they get it right, everything is right.
But so for how many years have you been practicing? And also, just to add up to that question, which cases have you dealt with when it comes to the cancer cases?
Thank you very much. I've been into the oncology field. I think in 24 was 23, so 24.
24 years?
24 years, yeah.
Wow.
24 years. And we usually deal with all solid cancers.
When you say solid, what does it mean?
All the cancers, with the exception of those ones from hematological cancers.
What's the difference?
The difference is usually cancers can arise from all parts of the body. So if I say hematological cancers, all the cancers that are related to the blood, the lymph, yes, those ones. But even that, when they need some form of care, especially radiotherapy, they will come to our end. Initially, there were some of the hematological cancers that we're doing. Lymphoma, they were within our setting, but later on, it was sent to the hematological department. And children, pediatric cancers, sometimes when they need radiotherapy, they'll come in. They also had some form of solid cancers. If it's not hematological, as I explained, they usually come. But when we had the pediatric oncology department, they took all those away. So apart from these 2, all cancers come in within our setting.
And what has been some of your challenging moments throughout this journey?
Right. Okay. So challenging moments was more for under-resourced setting. We have, it's quite under-resourced. Initially, gap in skills in terms of the nurses. That was one of the things. And even other personnel, like oncologists, we had a few, and those were one of the deal breakers in terms of the challenges within there. And also very slow policies in terms, if, as I said, nurses from the big, and their voices within those policies are quite small. Sometimes you could only a whole. I remember they did a cancer policy where we could only, you look through, you could only have only 2 nurses within those policies. How will the implementation be done? Because they are the ones going to majority of the implementation. So those are some of the challenges within the health system. Then when we come to the patient sector, late presentation was a big thing. We're having almost 70% of our patients coming in very late. And it could be due to factors, it could be due to themselves. You know, African belief, maybe I have this thing, it could be due to something that I did. The myth around it sometimes also delay people from coming. When they get to the center, the health professionals also knowing about that and referring early, distant from where, even if they are referred early, distant from where they are coming from to the place is also another challenge, because we only have 2 major cancer centers in the country, with then a private one. So one in Accra, one in Kumasi. You see over 30 million people. So that's also a big challenge that is within space.
But in your field, how many nurses are there?
Oncology nurses?
Oncology. So far, we have about 63. Yeah, we've trained about 63. So with existing, those in practice, I could say that we have about 67. 67 oncology nurses.
Is it enough,
in addition, we need more because now we want to decentralize. There are some cancer services with the ones that have been trained are doing some form of, they've started some form of cancer services within they're all over the country now. We have some in Tamale, even the Upper East. Now we have a lot of regions. You can't even, so we have even the Brown region. We have, in a space that there are no cancer centers, some have established their oncology unit and try to harness resources from elsewhere. You know, now in cancer care, treatment is not done by one person. We call multidisciplinary meetings or multidisciplinary teams. So in places where they don't have, they have done more of a, will I say, a digital electronic medium where periodically, if it's every week or 2 weeks, they meet, they present the cases and decisions are made, then they go and implement. Where they don't have such services, then that means they have to refer to either Kumasi or Accra.
Right.
Yeah.
But it looks like a cancer treatment is very expensive.
Very expensive.
What makes it expensive? Because someone, maybe that's the reason why people are doing late presentation and all those things, because of the amounts that goes into it. So if you can help us appreciate reason why it becomes expensive, and sometimes it's very difficult for people to show themselves up to the various health facilities for healthcare.
Thank you. Cancer care is expensive. Okay, healthcare in general is expensive.
Yeah.
But cancer care is expensive, and within a certain, our drugs are not produced here. We have other hubs outside the country, and even our machines, if it's radiotherapy, they are all not produced here elsewhere. As we said now, we usually will have to pay for some license to operate our machines by $150,000 a year to be able to operate them. So all this are put into context because we are a public institution. We have to break even, making sure that you maintain your, machines and make sure that the services goes on, not any profit finding. But even that, it's still expensive for people to pay. So it's something that I'm thinking that the government had done something, but there's more to be done, especially have taken on breast cancer, and then we are having that of the hematological cancers, the pediatric, especially the pediatric cancers, they have taken them on. I think they are pushing more to also take the men's own, like prostate, because most of the time we see them when they are retiring, and that means they have to use all their retiring or the proceeds to be able to fight diseases. So they are doing it, but I think a lot need to be done. Especially we need to invest into pre-diagnosis where the screening we screen so that we get them early. I had the opportunity of going to the UK last year, and it was so fascinating where they have a one-stop clinic. I saw a one-stop clinic for GU. There are a lot of one-stop where they come in. If once you see your GP and there's something wrong, you're not feeling all right, you come to this one-stop clinic. They verify, and if there is images or tests, it's right there. You don't need to be moving up and down, and it is done. And if in terms of results, because of images, you get the result right there. But maybe if it's pathology, it's a week. So by the time you come for your next review, everything is in place and you know your status. So I think we should also, in as much as we are doing, we should also encourage pre-diagnosis to help us get our patients early, so as to get prompt treatment, for us to get a better patient outcome and good quality of life.
Right.
It
So
also increases our survival.
Let's go back to the award. How do you think this can actually shine a light to Ghanaian healthcare?
Right. Thank you very much. This award was pitched. It's for Ghana and Africa in the whole, for capacity building. We are looking forward to create a hub for oncology cancer leadership for nurses. And it's not just limited to just oncology nurses, it's also for nurses to empower them to be able to lead and transform their space that they are. Most of the time, we don't have a lot of the state of nursing report that came. We only have about 25% of nurses leading, which I don't think it's okay for us to be able to transform our world. And maybe because of the way we were in training, we're brought up and things. So we want to create this hub for nurses within in leadership, to us to bring them, to empower them to be able to lead their world. And we also want to create also some training for, we are seeing a lot of our patients, but we don't even have a lot of genetic counselors and nurses for majority, and they see a lot of this patients. So we want to empower them in that sector in genetic counseling, so as to help in their general risk assessments of the patient. So as to it also increases in the prevention of cancer. We also want to do that. And then want to create scholarship fund, like I said, for scholarship fund, to push nursing, all nurses who want to go into advanced nursing level, be it in the specialty or other space. Also want to push that, because sometimes when it comes to leadership, you should be able to have prepped up yourself to a particular level. And we don't usually don't see more of our nurses in that, especially what I'm saying is those in practice, not those in academia, those in practice. So we want to push, get some funding and scholarship for such nurses to be able to also push them higher, so that when some leadership roles come in, they have empowered themselves and ready to take up those roles.
You seem to do a lot for people, from your patients to caring about, nurses like you and the junior nurses coming up and all that, wanting them to do better and be better in their different, craft. But now, how do you relax? What do you do, like, to have fun? It seems there's so much of work. How do you relax?
Right. I love music. I love gospel music. I lead a choir in my local church, PRWC Atomic. So I love to sing, and sometimes I love to read also in my quiet moment. I sometimes don't need to go out to talk if I can take my space. I just want some space. I read novels, I read some leadership books, and also travel. Travel has also given me another perspective of the world, how big and large the world is still, and we are connected in other ways. Those are some of the things that I usually do too.
So that's what you do to unwind and all those things. I'm sure that the $250,000, should it fall in your hands, well, there's a question we want to ask. What are you going to use the money for?
Right. So I think I talked about that, and that's what.
But that's helping everybody except yourself.
Yes. That's what I'm really going to do. Wow. Because I want to leave a legacy that even if I'm not there, it's still sojourning, it's still empowering nurses and pushing them forward, so that I want to be known that I'm a nurse that would help people to know their power and also be able to be the one who is lifting up the voices of nurses, that kind of things. And at the end of the day, I also want to be someone who have been known to have transformed cancer care, not just in Ghana,
the world.
And beyond. Yeah.
So what's your lowest moment in your profession or in your career?
Right. So my lowest moment is when my patients are not doing well. Sometimes, so you doing all that you can, and then
they're not responding.
They're not responding. They came in late. Those have been some of my lowest moments. And the other thing is when you see yourself in someone, a younger person coming in, you know, those times. But there's still hope in that fear and distress and pain. At least putting a smile on a patient also give you some form of joy. Yeah.
And also the highest moment. I will say the high side of your career.
Right. The highest side of my career, it's the interactions or the bond that I make with my patients. Being able to mentor other nurses, to be a voice, or to transform their world. Those are some of my highest moments, irrespective of the downside, under-resourced environment, our poor policy change or slow policy change. But those are my highest moments, being able to put a smile on my face and the bond that we form with them and being able to empower the nurses to be able to take
You keep talking about under-resourced, we having limited equipment and all that. What do you make of a nurses' exodus or nurses moving out of the country, health workers moving out of the country to seek greener pastures?
Thank you very much. Nurses in Ghana are working hard. They are very hard-working people. You can attest to that. Even they go outside, they are hard-working people. But we are faced with this economic hardship, and people want to they think they work hard, but they are not being remunerated as it's supposed to be. So you find them moving out to be able to make greener pastures. And this is causing a lot of brain drain. We train a lot, and they go out. And they are seen as the best nurses in the world.
Right.
So I think this is about time our policymakers need to look within and then give them the remuneration that they need. Because they said home is home. And then they will stay and take care of our health system. As I said, nurses are the heartbeat of a health system. And if things go wrong with nursing, then you know that your health care is doomed. So we need to do something about this exodus.
So lastly, how does your family feel about all this? Mommy works so hard, my wife works so hard, my daughter, my cousin. How does everyone feel about this?
Right. They are really overwhelmed. I have a very supporting husband. He's here with me here. So with all this up and down, sometimes you have to leave home. So, but very, very supportive. Also my children, very supportive of me, my parents, my siblings. I'm the only girl among 5 boys.
That's why you're strong.
Yes, we have to be strong to be able to yeah, so they've been very supportive. My dad.
Are you like the firstborn?
Yes, I'm the firstborn.
That's why you have to be strong.
Yes, my dad, we usually are paternal, so usually when the boy is there, they usually will ignore the lady and go. And my dad never treated me like that. Always treated me as the firstborn till the day. He passed about 2 years ago. And he really did well as a peasant worker. They tried as much as possible to be able to at least leverage all of us in terms of education. We all had tertiary education. Yes, they did. My parents did very well. So shout out to my mom is there. Auntie Akwele. Hello. Yes, they really did well. My dad said it's better to educate, even not to build, but educate your children. And with that, you have given them a legacy than to build the world, and later on they would come and destroy. So he did. They put all their all to be able to take good care of us. And I really want to shout out to all of them, our families, our in-laws, and things, friends. and who had really supported us. It's quite overwhelming, and they are really with us, supporting and cheering us on, say that, you know, with all that we've done over the years, it's about the time that they push us high for the world to know what nursing is doing. Yes, so they are really, really happy with us. And our local church, our pastor, Apostle Mensa, and the whole PIWC Atomic, say thank you very much for your support. I also want to say a big thank you to our chairman, Apostle Nyamiche, and the whole executive team, GS, the IMD, the whole media group, and everyone. We want to say very big thank you for your support. You've really, really supported us. For our name to be heard, like it's quite overwhelming. And so I really, really want to appreciate you for the support you have granted us.
Wow, thank you for sharing your incredible journey with us. I mean, it's an inspiration, and also your dedication and compassion and excellence are not only an inspiration to nurses, but to everyone around the world. Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I just forgot one thing. As an opportunity, I want to say a big thank you to my CEO and the directors of Kolibu Teaching Hospital, and also my director, Prof. Yani, and this one who just went on retirement, Professor Vanderpoy, for their support, the whole staff of Radiotherapy and Oncology Center, all the nursing and midwifery fraternity. Want to say a big thank you. My regulator, well, we want to say a very big thank you for your support.
Yes, and we are rooting for you on the global stage. Our fingers are crossed.
Right.
We want to hear good news.
Right.
And the $250,000 is
yes.
coming up. So there you have it. Naomi Oyo Oti, Oheni Oti, she is an oncologist, and she has worked for 24 good years. And we say congratulations to her, and also hoping to become the winner of the Hashtag Guardian Global Nursing Award 2025. She's the individual we had the conversation with her here on Breakfast Daily on Channel 1 TV.
Right. We actually have 2 birthday messages before we go. Happy birthday to the amazing Henry Lawson Jr., CEO of Peep Studios. The Lord bless and increase you, from Jones in Channel 1 TV. And also we have to my wonderful friend Edith Bruce Na Lamile Carter. As your birthday arrives, I find myself searching for the perfect words, but they seem to escape me. You're one of those rare people who bring so much light and joy into my life, and thank you just doesn't feel like enough. Even though life keeps us busy and we don't talk every day, and sometimes months might drift by, please know that I cherish you deeply and our connection remains special to me. Happy
Chris,
birthday.
Before we go, today's a special day for Bernard Avler of Citi Breakfast Show, the general manager for Channel 1 TV and also Citi FM. Richard Delasky on the same show, and also Poka of the sales department. Say, wish you all the best.
And Shamima Muslim's birthday.
Beautiful.
Today.
So they are all celebrating their birthday today. Well, that's how we wrap up the curtains, or draw down the curtains on today's show. It's been an exciting one. My name is Philip Ni Latte.
And my name is Chris Carter. See you right here tomorrow at 7 o'clock. We'll be back.